Y'all know the drill. Who's got a recap for me? I told Chad I would give him Beethoven for 2 games, so I will now
Did
have.
you?
Yes, I did. So you still have Beethoven from last game, and I will now begin a second composer. I will not give you the ultimate one.
Oh, this actually brings up. Hold on, I'll be right back. I got something for us before all this shit happened, and then I never got to bring it.
I'll say I still have the physical Beethoven upstairs, but
it's really hard to keep track of bullets when my character sheet is a photo that was taken on a phone, and we don't have anything physical. I have no idea.
I hope you're keeping track, because all I know is how many I have. I don't know how many you guys have. So I know what you don't have. But Chad, do you remember who the ultimate composer was? The one that had all the brawls over him?
Verdi?
It was Verdi. Yes, it was Verdi. I'm not prepared to hand out Verdi yet. But I could be talked out of, like, oh, look at that.
It's hard
all
to
right.
see. Hold on. Maybe I'll change the background here in this one.
Well, you're going to have to explain this to the people at home, because obviously this isn't a video show.
It's Bach. We have a bust of Beethoven, right? And now
all right.
we have Bach.
Okay, well, we can, since it actually physically exists, we can put the spirit of Bach into play. So who wants to get a 2-game Bach, which will function quite similarly to Beethoven? Broder, I know you took notes last time.
All right. I'm so angry with Wayne right now I can't even see straight.
You're so angry with Wayne. Why is that?
Yeah, because of that terrible thing that he put on the chat.
What did he put in the chat? My son kept chewing on the electrical cord, so I had to ground him. He's doing better currently and conducting himself properly. Oh, my.
All right, so here we go. Last time Chad did the recap, and he talked about how it was a Chad-centric episode. We have 2 days. I don't remember why.
You have 36 hours left. You don't remember why? The world's about to be invaded. Okay, you have 36 hours until that occurs.
Thanks, boss.
You're welcome.
So Phil goes to see his mother. He speaks with Erica Poole, a.k.a. Dragon, there as well. Lee needs some clothes, and Junior's clothes need mending, so they see Phil's mom as well. Dragon is a hard woman, doing what she must to save the Earth. Max is a key piece to the elites of Aurora. To hurt them, Max must be taken out. The core, the real Max, not the bullshit Max that Emma shot in the head, but real Max. True Max. Dragon advises Phil to continue going off script, which kick ass. Go Phil. Be unpredictable. Casey apparently fought well again. He won Lee's freedom again. Lee was ungrateful again. No, I'm kidding. I didn't write that. That just came out at the moment. STL cut Casey off from his drugs, and he had to have his leg amputated as a result, etc., etc. It will be his final fight. Phil talks to Casey's frame for a while. Let's see. Lee plus NPCs head out. Oh, you're getting the whole thing, Chad. I know you don't read every goddamn word, but I put on my fucking reading glasses. Go.
Gotta earn that composer.
Head out to get Billingsley. Tony is unusually quiet. We discussed why prior to the recording, we think. He seems quite down. Gil asked one of the Amboy corpses where Billingsley is inside the facility. Gil has corpses load the satellite upload thingy into the LAV. Daisy is playing Parcheesi with Billingsley while she is jacked in. That's fucking creepy, by the way, her jacked in.
I also just realized the unintentional sci-fi reference I made by naming her Daisy. That was completely unintentional. The Hal reference was entirely unintentional.
Garden grow.
Billingsley plays hosts. Gil offends Billingsley with potty language. Your asshole, my asshole, asshole.
It wasn't
asshole,
the potty language. It was he was insulting friends of his.
Oh, I thought he was like, because he kept using potty language.
No, this isn't Vacation Bible School. The issue was that he was insulting friends of his. This is Southern sensibilities.
Oh, see, that's why I thought it was potty language with Southern sensibilities.
Billingsley's just Captain America. Language.
Yeah.
They agree to settle things later. Let's see. Daisy and Billingsley seem pretty tight, thick as thieves, if you will. She'll use the comms equipment for Billingsley to call whom? President Fletcher Hodgson. Songbird goes to see Leopard. Brodeur was really stoned. They switch hostesses along the route. Use goggles, aid in the latitude, longitude to find the hatch. More of a cave than a structure. Several viewing balconies, 10 stories, etc., vertical and horizontally. There's a crane system. It's almost like a modern-day soda machine for moving bodies. Leopard's doing something at a console. And then my notes kind of black out there for a while. We rendezvous back at Herman. We go pick up Martian guy because he's on the way because Chad was kind and brought it up and fought on my behalf. And
I believe what you missed in your notes was mass murder.
No, nothing about mass murder in these notes. Nothing about mass murder in these notes. What it does say, it says, see previous page. Hold on. Dragon will be remembered as a villain because she's doing what must be done. So it just says see page 1 right there. That apparently Songbird was just doing what needed to be done. Here we go. Lee, Emma, are we done yet? Have I earned my composer? We go into, let's see, Lee, Poe Jr., and Emma go into St. Louis. Jr. points out how everything in St. Louis is really mislabeled. Lee devises a plan to talk to everyone that they can. They bring everyone who will listen to the table. Emma is attracting a crowd of would-be suitors. I would put quotes on it, but I heard on a podcast about writing that's hack. Deferring to Lee regarding who may sit at the table. Lee is attempting to use Emma to attract the city's power brokers. Emma cuts off her own face. Emma and Lee play chess. The faceless Emma, etc., etc. Junior and Poe track down Ethan Winslow. They share a smoke. Junior explains that we need him at the Herman Summit to combat the people from space. Lee and Emma clear the place out. Winslow needs proof that we have Emma, the AI. He sends a messenger to collect Lee and Emma, but Lee explains that they must come here. And Emma's not wearing a face. What's up with fucking AIs and faces, Dan? It's disturbing. Let's see. They're waiting for others. Winslow seems bothered by Emma and is concerned for his own safety. Poe Jr. and Winslow make it to the bar with Emma and Lee. Lee paints a bleak picture of our potential future. Winslow attempts to cut through Lee's setup and big picture sale. Lee presents the case for unity against our space elitist overlords, and Lee wants trade with space and a brave new world. Let's see. Civil and military authorities, respectively, in Jacksonville. Trade is very important to both sides. Winslow needs evidence of impending space invasion. Winslow is confident Jacksonville already knows about Emma's presence in St. Louis. Gone to Herman, carved in the table by Mr. Winslow. 36 hours return on the clock. See, that's what that means on my previous notes. Return to Herman next morning. Everyone arrives roughly the same time with the Martian.
Okay. So, yeah, we're now at the following morning. You have 36 hours left. So you have the full 24 hours, and then sometime around the following night or very early morning, Mars will be there. And
then they'll go.
That's exactly what will happen. It will be the Mars attack sound effect. And it will actually be, it's not humans from Mars. It is actual,
the big brain.
19 fish. If I was going to do a Martian invasion, I always preferred the actual H.G. Wells one, which were brains with beaks that walked on this mass of tentacles. They're very shockingly weird looking for sci-fi.
You like smart chicks and tentacles and a little bit of beak action. Nobody
yeah,
said
get that beak
Is that
in
a
there.
Grell? Grell?
The Grell are. I'm not going to
Maybe
say
other
who
way
ripped
around.
off. Well, H.G. Wells obviously came first. I don't know if the Grell is intentional, but the Grell, whether by intention or by accident, looks exactly like how H.G. Wells said the Martians looked. And like I said, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but if you want to know what an H.G. Wells Martian looked like from the original War of the Worlds, look up a Grell in a D&D's Player's Handbook, because that's pretty much how they looked. There were some slight differences, but yeah, nothing of substance. So, okay. You guys are going back to... so you guys are the following morning, all arrive. I mean, not literally the same time, but you arrive back at Herman. Where are you meeting up? You meeting up Lee's place? You meeting up Phil's mother's place? You meeting up back with Dragon?
I had assumed my mom's place.
Okay, so Wayne, we will go ahead and put. Well, you didn't leave the city.
Nope.
So, yeah, you're obviously the first back. So, all right, you're the first back. We'll have the St. Louis crew be the second back, and then because of the side trip, we'll have Brodor be the third back. So, I'm not going to put any significant time gap in there because last game was too split up. So, Wayne, is there anything of significance that you are attending to that I need to know about?
No, I just got some sleep while waiting for everyone to get back because I don't think there'll be much sleep in the next 36 hours.
Okay. Gil, and yes, I do mean Gil this time, not Lee. Gil and the truck are the second group back. Is there anything of significance you are doing?
I take Billingsley over to Philip's mom's place. The thinking is Billingsley likes clothes. He has 2 suits, and they're getting a bit ragged. And this is his sort of mea culpa, I guess, in sort of a strange Gil logic to it.
Okay.
Without saying anything.
So, yeah, actually, well, first of all, Billingsley is just almost off-puttingly polite, but that aside, no, he does take quite an interest in your mother, not that way, just as a person.
I mean, they're both the same age.
I'll say, they are both kind of old, and
Nice.
I think maybe we should see if that's a thing, because I think that could be funny.
Old people need loving too, Dan.
They do.
They need it more and harder.
Mm-hmm. With a lot more lube. Like gallons.
Okay.
It helps if I unmute to remind that I have a father that is there.
He can hold the camera.
Not at all. I
He likes to watch, Phil. We know how this works.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're okay. You did. I thought for some reason your mom was single. Okay,
No.
Never mind. Skies of Glass
but can
deals
she be?
with many horrors, not adultery.
We can make her single.
Wait until Songbird gets back.
That's right.
Have your dad just lay in a bed.
Hey, why does it matter if she's single or not?
Right, polyam.
Yeah.
No, Billingsley is entirely too much of a good gentleman for this. I just for some reason got it in my head she was single. But yeah, okay, so you're okay, so you go. All right, so Gil, you go over there. Upon Gil's return,
I have a chariot. I have virgins throwing flower petals in front of me.
you have someone on the chariot with you saying
Yeah.
Memento Mori,
Yep.
or
It's
giving the
Billingsley.
Memento Mori.
Oh my God.
Well, no, I'm not sure you'd like how he'd be saying that right now. So crap. I lost the name of the guy that's the head of Temper's militia. I think his name actually is just Temper, but I think if I remember right. Well, we're going to go with that because it's that or
Is it Brad Temper?
Brad Temper.
If it's not, it should be now.
It's not going to be Brad Temper.
Oh, come on.
And his brother Chip.
That's right.
Chip
And
Temper.
Rod.
Rod chest flex.
Rod
Chat.
just-
And his middle name is
Rod Temper. That is a poor name if I've ever heard one. That's a hot rod, Mr. Temper.
Why is all the Broders porn like bad 80s porn? That's what I want to know.
That's a dead giveaway. Yeah. You just sold yourself out.
That was dude, Star 80. Like
But their
that
hair's so
skin
big.
and
How
that-
can you not want to jerk off to that? There's just so much hairspray involved.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's before lube and hairspray was the main thing.
I wish this was a video cast so everyone could see Wayne just dying right now.
just a little bit, just inside.
Yeah, I think Temper's militia was just not Rod
Brad Temper, you're right.
or Brad. I think it was just a Colonel Temper, and I did have his name down, but I'm not going to.
Colonel Chip
Oh, I actually
Temper.
do have a name for a leopard. I actually forgot I'd ever given him a name.
Is it rare?
Yes. That is 100% exactly.
His parents were hippies.
His parents were druids. What are you talking about?
He's a literal leopard.
So, okay, anyway. So, yeah, are you guys, one of the, upon getting back to town, Gil, you are approached by Colonel Temper, who, if he had a different name, I don't know what it is, and well, whatever. But you are approached by Colonel Temper, and he has one of his officers with him, and well, actually, let me check something.
Oh shit! Is Gil under arrest?
No. They having seen what you guys flex, they'd be bringing more than two people, and certainly not the top officers. So Temper approaches you, and along with one of his top officers. And are you standing by anyone at the moment, or are you just kind of off on your own?
The way I picture it, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's just like Gil was. They drive up in the vehicle, and Gil says, "Why don't you check out the haberdasher over there?" And Gil is like stepping out of the vehicle and sees him coming up. So
Okay, so as you
is
see,
it just me and Billingsley in the car? We didn't bring
you brought back. You also brought back
the satellite, which is obviously not a
Leanne and
person.
not Leanne, Leela and Fat Tony.
Oh, okay. So
And-
yeah, I assume they're getting
Yeah,
out.
and their project is now up and walking on its
okay.
own. So because Daisy, I think, was helping them with that. So yeah, they actually now have one of their U.S. Army robot working, and
Is it working or air quotes working?
oh no,
I mean, Gil's
no,
no expert, but
no, because given the aid they got at Amboy, no, this thing appears, from what you can tell, this thing it's certainly no artificial intelligence, at least not on the level of anything like Emma or Max is. It's not like that. It is certainly it's a machine that is capable of making decisions. I mean, once again, how exactly do you find an artificial intelligence? It's an
Is it
intelli-
basically like Hearts with the military chip in?
Yes, maybe a little bit smarter than Hearts, but not. Like I said, we're not talking. It's definitely in Hearts' taxonomy. We are not talking anything anywhere near. You don't have to worry that this thing's walking around hacking everything in the area and about to rain down tungsten rods on you.
So things like it's more sophisticated than Hearts, though, right?
Yes. it is more sophisticated than Hearts. And you guys remember from fighting these things, this is not easy to bring down. It ain't max hard to bring down, but it's not, it's not like a. I mean, it took, I think, a whole group. I think it took the entire group of this to take one of these things down. But anyway, they got up and walking around as Leela and Fat Tony are sort of field testing it a bit. Temper reaches out with two fingers and kind of motions you over, so that this sort of gesture for you to come over.
I go over there. I give him a half-ass salute.
He honestly doesn't even seem to notice you did it, because as you get closer to him, he's kind of looking behind him, and he walks back a few steps, assuming you'll follow him.
Sure.
And make sure that you guys are out of earshot of anyone. And he says, we haven't had any perimeter breaches, but one of our men spotted something outside the perimeter, and we've done our best to get a drawing of what it was, but it's lurking around the town. We've caught it. We've seen it. The soldier reported it. Says he's seen it twice now, and he shows you a picture. Gil was there for the train fight, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
he was in the mix.
He says, "I think this might be another."
He got infected.
I say, "I think this might be another."
Wait, do you mean the first train fight, the underground one?
Yes.
Gil had a close encounter of the first kind. He was getting choked out by one.
All right, so Temper speculates it's a robot. What he's showing you is one of those suits of armor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nice.
Right. I kind of play it cool. I tell those guys, I kind of call it, get some food. Keep an eye on Billingsley. I go to find Dragon.
Okay. You're going up to find Dragon. As you are going up to find Dragon,
actually, as I go to do that, I stop, I turn around, and I go over to Leela and Fat Tony.
Okay.
And I pull them aside.
Okay. Leela and Fat Tony step aside.
Is that thing ready?
I mean, yeah. It's I think it's not a matter
I'm hearing
of
a lot of ums and yeahs. And
okay, well, so handing guns to robots, it has generally not worked out for us. But I'm just saying, yeah, it's ready. But after what we've been through, you can kind of see where you get really nervous about signing off on this and saying, "Oh yeah, it'll be fine."
Tony, you remember that thing those guys in the metal suits that killed Scotty Double V?
Yeah, I do.
I think there's one lurking around outside of town.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to gamble and give a gun to a robot and see how that goes.
Yeah, why don't we give a big fucking gun to this robot?
Well, fortunately for you, we've been working on that. So there's a lot there in that facility.
Well, let's go defensive right now. I think the guys are going on about peace talks. So let's not shoot first. But if something shoots at us, end it.
He turns to Leela and says, "All righty, big girl. Looks like we're about to do the full thing. Why don't we walk over to not in the middle of town when we do this?"
I'm going to let the others know.
Okay. As you're walking towards Dragon's place, you see the steamship that departed last night has arrived back and has put out its plank. And the group from St. Louis is debarking. You will get to Dragons before they reach you, unless you opt to wait for them. It's fine with me either way. I don't think the scene in Dragon's house is going to become a huge subplot. So,
right.
Do you stop by and you said you were going to let us know ahead of time? Do you stop by and let me know that the armor people are there?
Well, you can't. Oh, do you tell him that? I'll say you certainly know he's back. I mean, you can't miss the lav pulling up.
I mean, let me put you're with your mom, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would come out to meet the lab.
No, Billingsley
so-
with his mom.
So what you see, so what you see is, Gil talking to Temper, and then you see Gil animatedly talking to Tony and Leela, and then he motions over to you, and he's like, "Let's go talk." And then as we walk and talk, is like I tell him, the guy that your player used to play and got iced by, totally here again.
Remember, I was in the engine with you when you were being choked out.
Yep.
So I've seen one of these things. At that point, I hold on a second.
Yeah.
I run over to the lab and Hearts, you're with me. Let me know if anyone is trying to sneak up on us.
Confirmed. Hearts steps down from the lab. You don't know what chip he's got loaded right now. I do, but your character probably doesn't.
No,
But yeah,
I left him with the engineering chip, but if they've reloaded him, I wouldn't know. But
So no, they kept him with the engineering chip because they were using him to work on the robot. But yeah, he steps down. And you do know he does have he's not quite as omniscient as say Emma is, but you do know that he has a not insubstantial sensor package. So
I know that he's going to do a better job than me of spotting someone
We need to kind of
in armor.
We need to kind of keep it defensive at the moment. I don't want to go hunting anybody if that's who I think it is, and I have no idea who it is. But if it's Mars or one of the other people we're trying to bring to the table, maybe we don't want to shoot him first.
No, I agree. We want to get a message out there and tell them we want to talk. That's why I told Harsh to tell me if anyone's sneaking up on us, not to do anything other than tell me.
Well, I told the other two that if anybody starts shooting, just to end it quick. So, but not to shoot first.
Maybe we should leave some messages out in the areas that they've seen them. Just say, we want to talk.
Well, let's go talk to Dragon and see if she knows who the hell this is. Because we don't know what faction it is. Maybe they do.
We just know they sound like Canadians.
Eh? They smell like hot dish.
okay, so the two of you are going to Dragons.
Yep.
Okay, so
With Hearts.
Okay, with Hearts. All right, so for those of you arriving from the boat, which is now going to be the entire St. Louis cruise, this is going to be Lee, Dr. Poe, Junior, and Emma. As you guys get off the boat, it's not terribly hard to spot not Dragon, the other person, they're Barnes. It's
Brad
not hard
Timper?
it's not hard to spot Barnes' estate house. And it's also not hard to spot Hearts going into it. So do with that information what you will, but you know the gather point was back at Lee's mom's, or not Lee, excuse me, Phil's mom's house.
Do we see Fat Tony and Leela and the army robot from where we are?
No, but you do hear a couple. You do hear a single gun, not an exchange of fire, a single gun, doing intermittent gunfire somewhere south of town.
Oh, okay.
Does Gil know that's Fat Tony testing?
You would presume so. I mean, for starters, there's no return fire. You're not hearing yelling. You're not hearing Temper's militia raise an alarm. Everyone seems to just be taking it in stride. So it doesn't. It would be a safe assumption. Okay. I mean, do you know it for sure? No, but
I'm surprised the town is still standing. To be honest with you,
why?
It's just our luck.
Well, nobody wants this place destroyed, do they?
Well, I mean, there's a whole militia here. Somebody thinks it's worth protecting.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, that's because this is the base of the zoo. Well, the sort of traveling base, I assume. the leaders here. Wait. Does Lee know this?
Yeah. I think
Sorry,
so.
I forget. Yeah, we said this is all known stuff about Dragon and that sort of thing. Okay,
Well,
sorry.
and
Yeah, Lee would
was
know.
there.
Yeah,
Lee was
yeah.
there when the militia was sent
Yep.
there too. He had a part in sending them.
Okay, cool. But there's just some part of my brain who's like, you don't know this? What the fuck? So yeah, I mean that's why.
Well, for
Temper's
some,
malicious.
I'm going to give you some pretty broad space with that unless we're talking about two people that are physically not in the same area at the same time, then I will just go ahead and grant you a hive mind that Lee and Gil know the same information once again, unless it comes down to something so specific. As
there
like,
is
these
there
two
is
people,
downtime that we don't role play out where things are talked about.
Yes, exactly.
But Dragon's here, her organization's here. Also, the others have started playing cards, and we've started playing cards. We have enemies. All roads lead to here eventually. If there's going to be a fight, it will probably be here.
I would have thought Cape would be more easily defended.
Well, it almost got completely overran, but not to say that a harbor, as we're talking and walking as we get off the boat and stuff, vineyards and such, but yeah.
Emma says, if you wish to move where the fight will occur, you're going to have to move where you are. Storms occur because energy gathers. No, that is the literal cause of a thunderstorm. It's too much energy gathering in one place.
Right.
It was also a metaphor.
Yeah, it was nicely done too.
Yeah, we got it.
But I think it's a little late to move where we are now. I mean, we've already kind of told people where to go. You don't want to change the location at the last minute because then people get lost.
Why move from one shithole to another? It's all the same here.
Hey, it's where I grew up. It's actually a nice town.
I rest my case.
Do you like wine?
Yeah, you're a rich
Your
person.
wine?
You like that.
Your wine? Actually, okay. Contraband wise, Dan, would I have had their wine before?
You had a fucking piano.
I did. That's great.
You had tobacco on a station that does not produce its own oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you would have had wine, it wouldn't have actually been this wine because most of the wine they produced was really the rock gut cheap wine.
Well, they were
Except the
working
special
on
stuff.
that, but
Yeah.
it hasn't. The improvements have not made because that takes years to get down.
During the
Yeah.
time he was on the station, it was
Yeah.
all rock gut with
So
some
no.
special ones
and
that
they
his
wouldn't
father
bother
did,
to
but-
send it. I say if you had alcohol, well, keep in mind you had regular trade with Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville runs the Caribbean. You were getting no shortage of things like tequila, rum, whatever, and or even grain alcohols. But yeah, they wouldn't bother to get something. I mean, why would they send you something unremarkable from?
Yeah, I forgot that they had shit wine like for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I was saying you may have even had wine that
Was old or something.
well and got traded through Jacksonville because keep in mind Jacksonville that's how they survive is they do bulk trading in return for limited technology. So if there was a demand among their citizenships or their citizenry for wine and they thought they could levy a tax on it or something, then hell yeah, they'd buy a bunch of crates of wine and trade it for a few doses of penicillin or something, but once again, that's not that's the likelihood you ever had Herman wine is pretty low.
Okay. I'm more of a bourbon guy myself. Why?
Well, I was just going to say that I could treat you to some excellent vintages that we make here in Herman that don't taste like shit from a shithole because this isn't a shithole.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's yet to be proven, but
What is the distinction between shithole and not shithole? Just asking.
Well, one is a hole that has feces in it, and the other is the place I was born and raised.
Right. Well, how is it different than other places that we've been? I mean, one small town kind of looks like the next.
I look at Junior, and I place my index finger on the tip of my nose.
Where have you been?
Well, we started out at Dixon. That was okay. It kind of reminds me of this place here, except it doesn't have. Do you have an old Walmart
or a hole in it?
No.
Yeah. See that? I mean, that had one of those. So
I've never heard of Dixon.
Yeah,
could be a nice place. I don't know.
Not anymore.
No,
not anymore.
That's where our friend Marlene was from.
Mm.
She's no longer with us. Where
I
else?
assume she died or left.
No, she was killed.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my condolences.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we've lost a few friends along the way. But it happens,
She was a special one, though.
Mm.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about her.
No, it's not.
Out loud.
That's probably true.
So are we going to go get some more clothes made, or what are we doing? And I look over at Emma and I say, you might want to wear your veil or something because you're going to scare some people.
No, she put her face back.
Her
it's
face
back
like
on.
reattached, yeah.
Oh, okay. So is it like sagging or something? I'll just kind of push it.
No, it is
out.
perfectly.
She's got nanomachines.
Yeah, it basically. She is both She is singularity. She is both biological and machine.
Okay. So
And
I turn and look at her and go.
She bleeds, but when she puts it back on, it just repairs itself like a machine. So I mean, she is if you know what a technological singularity is, that's what she is. She is. It is equally true and equally false to say she's organic or a machine.
Okay.
Well, so we should probably report into Dragon and wait for the others to come in and see how they fared. And then based on what they have, we can make moves of our own.
Okay.
Lee, do you really think that Earth really stands a chance against Mars? I mean, everything I've ever heard of or known is that they're way far more technologically advanced. If they're on their way as well, I mean, stopping this station's one thing, or this resurgence of these people. Do you really think we stand a chance here?
Absolutely.
I like the way
you're looking at it in too narrow of a term. You think, can we put an army in the field and stop their army in the field? And the answer is yes, no, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a military person. But let's say we lose. What comes of that? They have one of two choices. Either they completely annihilate every living person on the planet, which has been tried before, and that failed. The planet's just too big. But they can probably drop some nukes from orbit, and we wouldn't be able to stop them, and we'd die. But some would live. And then what? What does that get them? That loses them a couple of nukes, and they go back home. And then we crawl out of our shitholes into slightly bigger irradiated shitholes, and we do this all again in 500 years. Or they come down and they defeat us, and then someone climbs into the foxhole with a Martian insignia on their shoulder, and they make us sign a treaty. Either way, we're getting them to the table and talking.
It's a very complex situation that you made sound very simple.
I think it's going to be great.
You think everything sounds great.
I mean, when has something like this ever happened? And we get to be part of it.
That's true. We could potentially be making history.
Right. Or writing our own.
Let's just hope a street isn't named after us.
Yeah, those lasted.
Okay, so meanwhile, Gil, you and Philip go into Barnes's place. So,
Mm-hmm.
by this point, I'm guessing you guys just let yourself in.
Yeah, I mean, if there's some sort of protocol, like there's a guard or something.
Yeah.
and,
No, there were actually. I did say there was a guard or two outside. I think.
I give the secret handshake and walk
Yeah,
in.
yeah, they
Is
let
she
you-
free? No,
Yeah.
she's taking a shower. Okay, well, we'll just go into the bathroom and have the interview there.
No, when you walk in, so the guard lets you past, and when you walk in, and the guard, by the way, is a Tempers guy. He's not.
Mhm.
It's not a Zoo member. It's a Tempers guy. And because keep in mind, officially, and in fact, probably truthfully, it was Barnes who hired Tempers Militia, because
Mhm.
Barnes really is a wealthy, powerful guy.
Right.
He just ain't Dragon. But he really is, kind of the Frederick Kane of this town, except he's much more apolitical. But when you guys walk into the place and you're standing in the lower foyer, you see Dragon, or Erica, is coming down the stairs and seems to be expecting you, or at least to have noticed you entered. And said, I'm glad you came by. You have guests.
Are they big, tall guys in metal suits guests?
No.
Has Temper informed, and he does air quotes, you about the situation?
No, because I'm not sure to what extent Temper knows.
Well, what I mean
hopefully-
is, has he told your proxy? And anyway,
I'll go find out what you're talking about, unless you have a short version.
well, I give her the short version. Guys, metal suits, describe them real quick.
Do you have the drawing?
I would say no.
Okay.
Gil wouldn't think of that. But here's the thing. I do have a question, though. Does that ring a bell, sound familiar? Who are these guys?
I told you that when all of this started some century back, that most of us went the other direction, went against the orders that were left for us. Some remained loyal.
These are evil, you guys.
I think you could call them that. Their operations are less sophisticated from an intelligence standpoint, but more sophisticated from a standpoint of operations, I guess is the way you could put it. In all likelihood, I don't think they're going to attempt to take the town. That isn't their style. This is probably an assassination.
Those suits are unbelievably powerful compared to anything else I've ever seen, except maybe Max. And I think they may even be more powerful than Max.
Well, we definitely have one lurking out in the woods. We do have a couple of assets, and I describe, she knows about, I was going to say Max, hearts. And we also have a rigged up military robot. I do a quick description of what Leela and Tony have.
We should hide them somewhere close by, and we're going to want to stay away from thin walls and generally out of sight, because I don't know who they're after. Something tells me it's either someone not here or someone they haven't gotten a good sight on, or maybe someone who's just now returning. Because if they'd had their person, they'd have made the shot and gone.
They might be waiting for someone to become important.
That's possible too, but they aren't the type to. I strongly doubt they've infiltrated the town, and I also strongly doubt that they're going to roll over the hill with tanks and attempt to subdue anything. It just isn't. They don't have those kinds of resources.
No,
They're
but
evil.
they're in walking tanks.
They're
I
evil.
didn't say they're safe. I told you to stay away from thin walls.
They're evil, you guys. Do you guys have that kind of tech?
More
Like
mobile.
here
but
that we can bring to bear?
Please tell me Songbird's going to be back soon.
I don't know when she's going to be back.
Well, that may be your best hope, because right now, what tech like that we have in the area, she's the closest set of it. will see what I can do to get something else more powerful available.
Okie doke.
Your lav, by the way, if you've encountered them before, I'm guessing it wasn't with that, because the turret atop that thing will make short work of these if you can get the shot.
No, last time it was in very close quarters.
Yeah, one was trying to choke me out on a train.
Smart move on their part. Keep the availability of especially high-powered ranged weapons limited.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They were asking me questions, and I was trying to answer them. And they wouldn't let me answer them.
What questions were they asking you?
Dan, I will probably need to make a roll for that one, because Chad, don't remember because it was like a year ago, and
They were.
I'm not sure Gil.
Philip will answer if Gil doesn't. They were asking about Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's likely who they're here for. Or, if not Emma, then Junior.
Well, they just pulled up to the dock.
Well, why don't you go upstairs? As I said, you have some guests waiting. I'm going to go take care of this. And she walks past a desktop cabinet, opens it up, pulls a pistol out. Actually, you recognize it was the same model. Well,
Yeah.
you guys
Is the one Gil took apart.
It was the one that
blasted
Rat
one.
had. That kind of like high-powered, like auto pistol thing that Rat had. But yeah, he takes that out. She takes that out and puts it inside grabs a coat, puts it inside of the coat, and goes outside.
I turn around, I look at Philip, and I'm like, okay, for the next few hours, I don't care if you think I'm an asshole. I don't care if you think my breath is bad. You stick by me. And when I say get down, you get down. If I shove you behind something, you stay there. You understand?
I do. I'm also staying by hearts.
Know how to use a gun?
No.
Okay, then. he takes his pistol out, and, he checks his guns, and, he unslings his rifle. He's not like, like holding it up, but he has it ready. And I
know how to hide behind hearts.
That will be good. Let's go see
Bless you.
Who's upstairs.
Yeah. I don't have any idea what it would be.
I don't really get how big Hearts is. Can he come up the stairs and fit through doors?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, unless these stairs are really rotted or something, because he's fairly heavy.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was like humanoid size, maybe a little bit bigger, if he was like an alien's power loader.
No. He's about the size of a human. He's a little bulkier than a human, but I mean, he's a few inches taller, a few inches wider, a few inches thicker,
a few inches longer.
With clamp hands.
That's right. Give him the clamps.
Yeah. But he can absolutely follow you guys wherever you go. I mean, unless you try to like crawl through a tunnel or something, because he's just not built for that. But
gotcha. Okay, cool.
Otherwise, yes, he can.
All right, we go upstairs then.
Yep. Okay, so you guys go upstairs. Once again, Barnes is not in his office/reading room. A table has been moved into the room. So where there was that big open space with the seats and the rug and such across from the desk, the seats have been now moved around a table. And sitting at that table is a woman who grayed out hair, looks to be middle-aged, maybe in her 50s. Let's just say doesn't look to be in good shape at all. I don't mean like she's dying. I just mean like couch potato. Does not look like a hardened traveler in the least sense of the word, and is wearing a skirt and a blazer. And next to her is a guy dressed in I forget what it's called, but the camo that the U.S. military uses now.
The digital camo?
Digital camo,
yeah. Digital camo, who is dressed in a digital camo jumpsuit with an armored jacket over it. And his jacket has the logo of the Jacksonville. Well, it has a Jacksonville logo on it, but it's not the one the military uses.
You guys got here fast.
The woman, she stands up and extends a hand.
Gil kind of goes over to her and gives just a quick shake. Looks at the guy. Can you guys sit away from the window? And Gil is closing the blinds, and he's and Gil turns around and is like, we may have a security situation here.
The guy who has not yet said anything, he goes over and grabs one of the bookcases, and he's not able to pull it because of the weight of the books on it, but is able to push it.
And block the door?
He's blocking the window.
Oh, Gil helps him. Gil says what he does.
So, he's blocking the window.
Gil turns around and goes, ma'am, this is Philip. He is the one you should be talking to. I'm just the muscle. He turns around, and then after helping the guy.
Actually afraid it's only you I have business with, at least that's here right now. You, sir, you seem perfectly nice, but I am afraid that I don't have any, I don't know if jurisdiction is the right word, but I'm afraid there's nothing much I can do for you right this moment. If you have some kind of issue, maybe I can.
I guess a better way to start this is, what can we do for you, and what brings you here?
Oh, no, the question is very much, not to put too fine of a point on it, what can I do for one of you? What is your character's last name?
Gil's?
Yeah.
He's French. It's Gilbert Motier.
Motier. Mr. Motier, would you mind having a seat?
Gil's fine.
Okay, professional courtesy. Gil. I'm your attorney. You can call me Diane.
I'm sorry.
Well, this is why we got here so quickly. There's some issues that were I wanted to hammer out before anyone more ambitious found you.
Okay. He sits down, but it's kind of on the edge of the seat. What's going on?
She sits back down and she opens her briefcase, and she takes out a data pad and a accordion folder of paper. And the data pad is far more sophisticated than the ones you've been finding scattered around the world.
Sure.
She turns it on, flips through some stuff, and says, I brought hard copy of the documents because I didn't know if you'd have any ability to read them, given that you spend a year or two down here. But I do need a digital thumbprint. First of all, this form right here, she hands you a hard copy of it, is basically just an agreement to give me right to represent you in the circuit court of the Jacksonville area of concern.
Lady, are you an ambulance chaser?
No, quite the opposite. I am... You know what? There's false modesty is not going to help anyone here. No, I'm the exact opposite. I'm a high-powered lawyer that very few people can afford. This is literally my first time ever setting foot outside of the walls of Jacksonville, and I never intend to do it again. If your case wasn't so damned high profile, you might be seeing me 6 months from now when they drag you in.
Who drags me in?
Well, you're a loose end from a station that is participating in, some kind of terrible things. And I'm here to make sure that you don't end up shot dead by accident, by one of the military blowhards because, quite frankly, I'm sick to shit of dealing with them. So I am getting paid for this, not by you, of course, but the ability, if nothing else, to fuck with them in court is worth more than its weight in gold to me. But in order to get this moving, first I have to have the right to represent you. And because, you're not one of them, I have to actually do this correctly. I can't just, claim you as my pet.
Who's paying your bill?
Well, my cause was first raised by an associate of yours who asked me to bring you a picture, by the way. And she fishes out a printed picture, which she slides across the table to you. It is a photographically well-printed picture of Molly sitting in a bikini on some unidentified beach holding an umbrella drink, flicking you off.
Gil is like, he at first through all this, it's like very incredulous. He's actually kind of half listening because he's expecting a powered armor killing machine to jump through the wall at any moment and try and kill Philip. And it's like very weird. And then she puts this picture in front of him and he picks it up and he's trying to be like at least kind of professional. And he just goes, and he just starts laughing. This like bellowing, eyes watering, he's crying out loud laugh that crumbles into just kind of ugly crying. And just all of his emotion is coming out. And it's like nobody else is in the room. It's actually really uncomfortable for everybody who's not
she's giving you this stone cold look. The other guy's more poker faced. She's stone cold bitch.
Yeah. I take a look at her while he's laughing. He's like, you have to understand when Molly left, we didn't think she'd make it. We thought she was as good as dead.
No, she was actually probably the easiest of you to clear because once she got put into processing, it wasn't terribly long before her story started to get out a bit. And people that care about, look, I don't know how much you know about the politics in Jacksonville, and honestly, I'm not here to educate you, but the real short version is even wealthy people don't see eye to eye on a whole lot of things. And some people that care a lot more about the outside world than I do decided to use her as a cause celeb. And so they paid off the rest of the money necessary. She's a full citizen now. And last I believe where this picture was taken, she has been assigned on temporary status as an engineer at a food and liquor processing plant somewhere near Nassau.
Gil like starts to kind of recover a bit, and after he sort of collects himself, and he has red eyes, tears streaming down his face. He very carefully folds the picture up and he puts it in his jacket pocket. He reaches over, he puts the thumbprint where she wanted to, looks right at her and goes, I want you to fuck these guys as hard as you possibly can.
Well, thank you by giving me your thumbprint. You've given me the ability to at least do so. I can now actually file that I am officially representing you. I can start working on some things to get you completely off limits. But in the meantime, this at least means that should you get shot, I can at least chase the ambulance.
Yeah. I want you to chase that ambulance. I want you to set it on fire. Anything you need from me, which is probably nothing, is yours.
I need to get similar from those of your friends that are alive. I need to get similar marks. Those from the station, of course. I need to get similar marks. And
he looks at Philip and goes, Junior, Fat Tony.
Oh,
And
There.
Poe.
They're here now.
I knew Chad would forget one.
You
Gil did
remembered
not
Fat
forget.
Tony,
Yeah.
but not the guy on screen in front of you in Zoom.
I knew I would forget one of them. Gil does not forget Poe. But he says Junior, Fat Tony, Dr. Poe. Those are the only ones that are left.
Well, that's what we'll work with then. If you can, I don't know where they are right now, and quite frankly, I don't intend to go out looking for them. But if you can get them here, then, or at least direct me to where to find them, hopefully somewhere close by, then we're going to see what we can do to get them signed on, and also for at least Fat Tony, as you're calling him, Fat Tony. I assume this is. She looks.
He's on the
papers.
other side.
I assume this is actually Mr. McClellan.
Yes, it is Mr. McClellan.
Fat Tony now? Okay.
Yes.
Wait. Have you ever actually said his last name before? Is this the first time?
I think it was said once before.
The fact that it's fucking McClellan, a Scottish fucking name, is the fucking best ever.
His first name's Bill.
Bill McClellan. Wow. I just want everybody to let that soak in for a second.
In the
She
first
makes
game,
a note on her. She takes out a stylus on her data pad. She makes a note of quote Fat Tony, double quote.
He just really likes Scorsese films.
And well, no, Anthony Salerno was a real gangster.
but it certainly wasn't.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't fucking Fat Tony.
No, as Anthony Salerno, which is where the name Fat Tony came from, and the Simpsons used it and I'm using it. He was a real person. You can look it up. Anthony Salerno is his real name.
Well,
he's like a 1960s gangster, and his
fucking
gangster.
Bill McClellan.
Junior and Dr. Poe should be back today, tomorrow. Fat Tony is on the other side of town right now.
Well, if you could tell him to come visit me at some point, I would like to get him whatever he's going by. I would like to get him at least added to the people that I can represent, and we are going to be sending the representation papers back about as quickly as we get them to make sure that it is within both the military and civilian parallel court systems. So if you ever hear reference to the PCS, that's what it is, the parallel court systems. It's a very complicated relationship, especially once you get near the top. But the parallel court systems, we're going to get you filed in there with the whole thing so that you are on record and your case is no longer pending. It's live in one way or another.
Can you get Molly a message for me?
I can certainly try. She is at least, she's in the tail of her time as my client, but yes, I do know how to reach her.
Gil takes a scrap of paper and he writes on it and he slides it to her.
Is it folded up?
Yeah, it's folded up.
Okay.
It says, "Where's
she
my
puts it
fucking
away.
bike?"
She puts it away without even looking at it. She puts it away. She says, "I'll be sure that gets to her."
Thank you.
Just so I only have one question, and of course, I'm going to remain ignorant of that piece of paper. But I do want to know one thing, just because it will become my problem. Is there something on that piece of paper that's going to come back to complicate her case or yours or bite me in the ass later? If so, if there's skeletons in the closets, look, you have confidentiality with me. It is far better to tell me than to let that come out the hard way and then me to have to scramble to figure out how to contain it.
No, I gave her my motorcycle. Actually, I gave her somebody else's motorcycle, but that guy's dead, to get to Jacksonville.
That
and it's
you
just
want
a
to
joke.
press. Oh, okay.
Just a joke.
For a moment there, I thought you wanted to press theft charges against her, and
No.
that,
There really isn't theft out here. There's just people.
well, if she brought
stopping
that
you.
into the walls of the city, there are. But okay, thank you. That's just a joke. That will keep things simple, and
Hey.
particularly as long as it's a non-incriminating joke.
How much do you know of what's going on right now? Here, not
I watch
me.
the
And
news. I realize that may not be terribly instructive.
we don't really get the news.
Yeah,
out here.
that's what I was guessing, and who knows what the news tells us. But
That's more what I'm curious about.
the news that I've been getting is that there are increasing tensions within the frontier areas, as we call them.
Lady,
and, the military, I mean, they're not all that far from our site. The fact that they have been going on to increasing alerts is not a secret to anyone.
Lady, we're trying to get a hold of some people in Jacksonville. You seem like an important person. We've got some leads out. If we tell you our story, should take about 20 minutes.
Well, if
could you decide if you can help us or not?
You want to talk to someone in Jacksonville. She motions to the person behind her. She says, I'm just going to say he's one of the good guys, but he's technically on the other team. He's actually bodyguarding me is only half of his job. He's here to feel you out.
Oh, okay. Well, Philip, take it away.
So she scoots over to make room for him, and she's shuffling through her data pad and has that stylus out still and is marking some things up and making some notes.
And did these two like come by themselves? It's just them?
You don't know how they got here. No one's asked them yet.
Okay.
Dan, I poked my head out the door real quick. Signal somebody in the house, servant, temper militia, I don't care. Basically, I just want to get a runner to go get Fat Tony to bring him here.
Okay. So pause there real quick. Brodor, because I haven't gotten to you yet. Brodor, you ride up into town with your two horses, and you also have good old Doug. You have both Samuel Stone, which is Leopard's real name.
Mm-hmm.
I'd forgotten that. And Mark is his name. Mark is the Martian's name. So Mark Hurley. And you have Mark Hurley with you, and you also have the two duffel bags of high-end military gear.
Right.
Which is not enough to outfit an army, but it's better than nothing.
Can we just call him Marvin? Because you gave him an M name.
You call him, up to you. I'm just telling you his name is. Do you want to agitate him? Let me ask you that question.
No.
Yeah. Okay. There you go then. So you've got Mark Hurley with you, and you've got Leopard with you, and you guys dismount in town and happen to bump into Junior, Emma, Lee, and I guess we lost Poe.
No, I'm here. I just turned my camera off for a second.
Okay, that's good.
Well, he jerks it.
Anyway.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going to let you see the end result.
Well, I just shreds that monkey. Okay, so we.
I don't think he's jerking it. That thing has been off for a really long time, like 20 whole seconds.
Yeah. I could tell you something, but it's way TMI and really inappropriate. We'll save it for a negative episode if I decide to tell it at all. But anyway, so you guys are, as you're walking towards Philip's place, the horses for Leopard and Songbird come riding up with a third individual you don't recognize, who you can guess is probably the Martian guy. And
yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Lee's there.
Yeah, Lee's there. And Leopard looks a bit troubled, but isn't saying anything. Leopard simply hops down, walks his horse over, ties it to a what are they called? The post.
Hitching post?
Hitching post, thank you. As the other word. I know it's a post, but it's not like a mailbox post. Yeah, it's a hitching post. Ties it to a nearby hitching post, and says, points at the house and says, "We're mustering in there."
Yep.
All right, I guess I'll go introduce myself. And he takes his duffel bag, and he actually reaches out for Songbirds as well and says, "Want me to take yours?"
Please. And then
okay. He takes the two duffel bags, and which I guess actually you guys have no idea what's in there, but he takes these two big duffel bags and walks into the house. And
were you successful?
Not to a degree that I find satisfactory, but we got what we could. Yes.
We were somewhat successful on our end.
the guy that's on the is getting down from the horse. The new guy you don't recognize looks to be only maybe a few years older than Songbird, and he's definitely lived out in the weather a bit. And as he gets down from the horse, he says, "Yeah, if you want me to be honest about who I am to people that don't already know, I hope you guys were a lot more than a little successful." Because otherwise, this is the last trip I'm going to take. And I don't mean like I'm going to stamp my feet and refuse to do it again. I mean, you're going to be slapping shovels on my grave.
Lee walks up to him and says, "Hello, my name is Lee. What's yours?"
I'm Mark.
"We're glad you're here, Mark. Thank you for coming."
Well, thank you for... Okay, I guess putting everything else aside, it is kind of flattering you think that I matter this much. So I guess thanks for that.
Everybody matters, Mark.
Okay.
That's why we're doing all this.
Can you draw that with a kitten falling off of a shelf?
A lot of lives hang in the balance. Everybody here is working towards a goal and the very tenuous concept of a plan. You are a piece of that. We might fail. We could succeed. We don't know yet.
Songbird slaps Mark on the back after hitching her horse and says, "Mark, this will go on as long as you allow it. I'll see you inside."
Songbird, can I speak to you a moment? In a few minutes, in private.
Before or after I go inside?
Before, if we can.
Sure. I'll wait.
Mark, again, thank you for coming. I will do everything in my power to make sure your time is not wasted here. Lee walks away and kind of motions Songbird. And we go off somewhere private.
Sure.
So how was your trip?
It was fine.
Successful?
I mean, well, no, we didn't have a good means of conveyance for carrying gear, so we couldn't bring much with us, and that was not that. It's not enough. That was my concern. But we found Mark, which is fine. I found Leopard, which is fine. We have a few guns and things, which is fine. So yeah, I guess it was successful enough. It's going to have to be.
Time out real quick. Was Songbird part of the group in the A game? Where did she come in the A game? After Joe died?
She came in after Joe died.
Came in after
Joe died after we left St. Louis.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
because Joe got killed by Koresh.
Gotcha. Okay, I needed to.
Yeah, he was
line things
killed
out.
in the S.
Songbird showed up right before Joe died. She joined the group after Joe died.
Right. Okay, I just
Yeah.
need to get that straight. Well, were you part of the operation to send the missile to blow up the arch in St. Louis? Or more specifically, the museum headquarters underneath the arch?
No.
That was Leopard's operation.
I don't know the details on that operation, Lee.
Can we get the details on the operation?
You can ask Dragon. I mean, shit, she's here.
Can we ask Leopard?
Well, I mean, you could, but I suspect that, just need to know being what it is, that Dragon would have more information than Leopard.
And Dan, this is a private conversation, right?
Yes, except for the fact that Dragon is walking directly toward you.
Oh,
Kick ass. So then I point at her. There.
She walks right to you guys, like does not even stop, grabs you by the arms in a way that feels more like having a schoolmarm pinch you by the ears, and is dragging you toward the house. And she's like, move, move, move.
Lee rips his shirt off and bench presses her
Oh, fuck yes.
with his two body. Yeah.
Huge reveal. Lee and Casey are the same character.
Ah, you want to talk about singularity? That's a singularity.
The Randy Savage voice, that was great.
Nice, you muscle.
So after Lee has that fantasy, completely erased from his mind by being dragged down the street by this woman, he goes along peacefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if she sees Junior or Poe or anyone else standing outside, she's like, "You need to follow me right now." And
Okay.
It's all right.
Where's she taking us?
into Philip's house.
Oh,
And
good. Not
she
a narrow ditch dug
She
out
takes
back.
you into Philip's house and she says, "If this house has a cellar, get in it." And Emma
Lee would
walks.
know, does it?
It doesn't really matter too much to me either way.
Okay.
Philip, does it?
His dad farms, and they have farmland, so
So they'd have to have
I
either
think
an
they would.
inside or outside cellar for like jarring and such.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there must be some
Yeah.
kind of a storm cellar.
Lee says it's right over here, leads the way.
Okay, and Emma walks in behind her, behind Dragon, not behind herself, and she walks over to Mark, who and then she grabs him. Mark tries to slap her hands away, quickly finds he can't. She sweeps the legs out from under him and is dragging him along the floor. And he is like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? Get this psycho bitch off me!" And he's like trying to like jack open her hands. This guy should, if Emma was what she appears to be, he should be more than capable of doing it. And he's not even coming close. But he is almost tearing his shirt, trying to get away from her.
Well,
And
diplomacy's starting well.
Emma looks to Lee and says, "There was an infrared beam going through the air, and it was tracking him."
Him,
Yes,
get him in the basement.
I am.
Thank you.
She looks down at him and says, "I'm sorry for the discomfort I'm causing you, but I mean you no harm. Someone is attempting to kill you."
Yeah, we don't want to beat your dead body with shovels yet.
And
Sorry, that was more of a guilt.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
that's such
Sorry,
a
Lee
like.
doesn't say that.
We're gonna kill you later. Don't worry.
Yeah, no,
So-
Lee didn't say that. Sorry.
so, all right, they go to the entrance to the cellar, open its doors, and take him. Well, anyone who wants to go downstairs. And once downstairs, she puts him in a old wooden chair down there, straightens out his clothing, apologizes. Of course, it's pitch freaking black, but she can see in that. So she then goes and lights a oil lamp down there, and then goes back upstairs.
So who's down here? It's Mark.
So Mark's
Junior.
down there, and then anyone else who wanted to walk down there.
I mean,
Dragon is
actually-
currently down there with
Had
you.
we actually made it to the house yet? I know we had docked, but I didn't know.
Well,
if, like,
she yelled at you. Dragon yelled at you to go. Did you go, or did you stick around outside? I mean, that's
Yeah, we docked and we were kind of walking and talking.
she doesn't mind control you.
so even yeah,
So she yelled at you with no explanation. Get in the house.
I didn't know
And-
if we were like unpacking shit or something.
No, I mean you guys didn't
Okay.
bring that much interest. I mean, you guys took like an overnight bag at most, but
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
see, and I want to make sure to grab Dragon and the 2 bags of guns.
you mean Leopard?
That's what I meant. It's Leopard. Yes.
Okay, so Leopard, yeah. So Leopard
Yeah,
goes
wrong
down
animal.
there. He's got the 2. He grabs what he had spread out from the bags and runs it all down there. Dragon is now up. She is upstairs with Emma, and since you guys are no longer upstairs, you have no idea what they're doing, except you don't hear any footsteps. So there you go.
So who all is in the basement? Just
So you've got Mark,
Mhm.
Lee.
Mhm.
You've got Leopard. It's my understanding you have Songbird.
Yes.
and then Junior and Poe,
Yes.
which I slurred together into
That's
Joe.
our ship name.
That's right.
With Junior and Poe, it's up to you guys whether you go inside, stay outside, go downstairs, stay upstairs.
If Emma's going downstairs, I'm going downstairs.
Okay. Well, no, Emma's still upstairs.
Oh, no, I stay with her.
Okay. So Emma came back upstairs, and now she and Dragon are crouched by the front wall, just below a window. And Emma is whispering things to Dragon. Well, I mean, like if you got close, you could hear it. It's not like they're keeping a secret, but she's just keeping her voice down.
Yeah, I'll sneak up. I'll slink up next to him.
Okay. So what you catch mid-sentence, you're a smart guy, so you would pretty quickly be able to catch the context, is Emma is describing where she was tracing the beam to and what the purposes she thought it could possibly serve. And her greatest concern is that was a target painter. But she can only speculate if indeed that was its purpose. I mean, it's possible someone using infrared binoculars would have also bounced a range finding beam. So it's not a target painter, but it could have been harmless, but whatever it was definitely beyond the tech that anyone in this town outside of you guys should be sporting.
Okay. All right, I'm looking in that, like in that direction, and I say, do you think they have him bugged?
Emma says no. Or if they do have a bug, it isn't transmitting.
Hmm.
And I can't imagine that Leopard or Songbird would have put any kind of a radiating element on them, which would be easy to spot, would go completely against their purposes. But what we know is important. We at least know that we're being observed, and we know which of us is being observed.
Why would they want to kill, what's his name?
Mark.
Mark. What's so important about him?
She contemplates that for a moment and says two things. First, he is the only Martian on the planet with any clear memory of Mars, at least that we were aware of. Secondly, unlike me, a bullet at this range would kill him.
Wasn't he like
Which means they won't kill me if that's what they're intending to do, because that same shot would be equally complicated now. She stands up and she walks back outside.
All right, I look over at Dragon.
Dragon's staying crouched down. She says, I would not recommend you follow her because you aren't bulletproof. And if they killed that, she points at your head, I'd imagine that's the only one there is.
Well, I guess you're right. And I'll just kind of like peek around and see what she's doing. Like through like a doorway or whatever, just kind of.
That's the complicated thing about things like Emma and Max. Whenever something dies, a more sophisticated one just gets released.
It's interesting how that happens.
So if you look around kind of through the door or the corner of the window at what Emma's doing, Emma is now walking toward that direction on the edge of town. You're not sure what her exact purpose is, but she's walking the direction that she marked as where that sighting or that sight line came from. Okay, so back in the basement, Lee was asking Songbird, was your mission a success?
Yeah. Is Poe down there?
Yes. Poe and Junior both. Oh no,
Yeah.
Junior's upstairs. Poe's downstairs.
How big is this basement? Can I have a private conversation with these two?
Yeah,
Or-
if you pulled to a side and whispered, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. I do that. I motion Songbird and Leopard over, and I say to continue the conversation earlier. So you, Songbird, were not part of the operation to send the missile into the headquarters at the Arch,
No.
but it was your operation, right, Leopard?
yes.
Would we be able to do that again and make it work?
This is where things get complicated. The bomb that was in there, I can account for. Missile trailing that, either there was somebody else within our organization that was supplementing that.
So the briefcase was the bomb, but the missile was not yours?
Well, it wasn't mine. That doesn't mean it wasn't ours, but it just wasn't mine. Or maybe it was ours. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know if somebody was trying to do something worse and was using the package bomb as a way of tracking it, simply as a way of targeting it. It would make even the most rudimentary of missiles easy to target. I mean, that degree of heat tracking has been around since World War II. With enough know-how, you could all but backyard make a missile of that capability. It would also explain why it never hit down. Maybe it never had anything to target. That's why I don't think it was ours. I don't know for sure. I'd have to know who was running that operation to even find out. And operational security, we're not told these things. But I can say it doesn't sound like something we would do. But the bomb? Oh, yeah, that was definitely mine. And oh, yes, it was powerful enough to wipe out that museum.
Do you think you'd be able to do it again?
How loud can I be?
I need that to occur again. But if we can, I would like to make it look like we didn't do it. That perhaps the Martians did it. I mean, sorry, not the Martians.
I was going to say, that's going to complicate shit.
Sorry, too many
No,
factions.
I know. Roll back.
The
Aurora?
Aurora, to make it look like Aurora did it.
I think Aurora did it. You know, that's actually going to be strangely easy. Now that you mention it, all I would need is a high place.
Plenty of buildings around there. Songbird, do you remember our conversation the other day?
This is Lee, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, this is late.
Okay. All right.
About doing things that need to be done that others wouldn't be willing to do.
I do.
This is one of those situations. Both of you operate on a need-to-know basis. There is a large political game and mechanism behind this. It is not just wanton killing. I can explain it to you if you'd like, but I would also assume that you don't really need to know.
I don't.
Will you destroy the Overseer's headquarters and make it look like Project Aurora did it and kill the Overseers inside?
What is gained from that?
We gain potentially St. Louis.
He has an ally?
Yes. Overseers won't come to the table. Some of the houses will. but the overseers wouldn't let them.
Understood.
Do you need anything from me?
I look at Leopard, and then I ask Leopard specifically, is there any material support that you need?
No. This is going to cut it close. So don't expect any miracles here, but I can get it done within 24 hours. I know that's close to 36, but putting this together the best way, the way that leaves the most believable evidence it was Aurora, I'm going to need that amount of time. There is a faster way I could have done probably in about 6, but it's going to look a bit more suspicious. It depends on who asks how many questions, how closely. If we could get somebody that would be willing to plant evidence that, in fact, actually didn't come from anywhere close to the scene, or maybe even I could do it, then we might be able to get the best of both worlds somewhere along a middle time. So I guess it's...
Take the time and do it right.
All right, then give me it's going to be about probably just before sunup this coming morning.
Lee turns around without another word and just starts talking to Mark. Just chatting, socializing.
So Mark says, so the chick, the hell do you feed her?
Motor oil, gears. She's a robot.
Okay, that leaves a lot of questions about where you got her down here, but that actually does explain a lot. Because, I mean, something like that, I mean, that sophistication, I mean, I'm not talking the crush strength. I'm just talking, looks that passably human. Well, if you know anything about where I'm from, there's only one place I ever saw models that look like that.
Do you know that the people of where you're from are coming here?
Brodor, did you tell him that at any point, or did you? Yeah, you would have had to convince him to come, I guess. So
yeah, we would have told him whatever story was necessary to get him to come with us.
Yeah, and in this case, the truth probably would have been the easiest. Yes, they told me.
We're trying to avert a war. To attempt to do that, we need to talk to them.
Okay.
We believe we have a technological ability to do so, but we would like someone, you, to talk to them. You're one of theirs.
I don't know how popular I'm going to be, except for the fact that I might get a pass because I was a kid at the time. But so they may not hold me responsible. But otherwise, I mean, why not? If they show up here, they're going to pass their judgment either way. There's nothing I can do to turn them around. So what is it? You want me to get them? What's the ask here? You want me to ask them to what?
Send representatives and not an army to this town so that we can talk about the real threat.
I don't think those ships are going to fly out of formation. You're going to get them both at the same time.
Well, that's fine too. Physical representation isn't completely necessary. We just want to be able to talk to someone in charge. We're trying to bring people to a table to talk.
I'll see what I can do. I'll try to think of a way to phrase it. I'll try to think of something that, I mean, I can certainly at least prove who I am. I can certainly at least prove I know things about Mars that no outsider should know. That's easy. That'll get their attention. I don't know if they'll listen to me beyond that, but
It's more than what we can offer, so it is light years ahead of anything we have.
all right, I'll see what I can do. I'll try to think up a message. I'll try to think of an approach for this.
Thank you. Do you need anything from us?
Nothing you're going to be able to provide.
Well, I have some other things I need to arrange, but thank you.
Just pencil and paper so I can start. A lot of paper, because something tells me that
Lee hands him. He reaches into a satchel and pulls out a notebook and writing implements.
okay, he brings the oil lamp closer and turns around and to face the table and gives an exasperated sigh and starts attempting to writes a few words, scratches them out, but yeah, he's working on it.
Lee leaves him alone and starts heading upstairs.
Okay.
Doctor? He looks over his shoulder.
Yeah.
There might be injuries upstairs. That they seem pretty excited, and there are a lot of people with guns.
Great.
If shooting starts, you will probably be needed.
I'll grab my bag.
And he heads upstairs. Is Dragon up there?
Yeah, Dragon is still crouched beneath a window. Emma is gone, and Junior is up there, crouched to next to the window, kind of peeking out the door.
Well, I think the kid will help us. No, I'm sorry, that's a Gil thing. I think Mark will help us.
Who's Mark?
He's the Martian.
Mark the Martian?
The one downstairs. Mark the Martian. Yes, I wouldn't suggest calling him that, though.
Okay.
What is the situation up here?
Looks like Emma's trying to go straight at the person that was going to take a pot shot at him. I guess she figures that whatever they've got is not going to do anything to her. So,
yeah. Are we stuck here?
I don't know. I look over at Dragon. Are we stuck here?
I hope not, because if you want to keep playing this the way it needs to be played, there's 3 more of you that I've got to get to Barnes' house.
Dragon, I need something for my end as well. I need to get some communication gear to talk to St. Louis, and they have an ask. It is some sort of proof that this is happening. What can we give them?
I think our best route's going to be to get it from Jacksonville. Jacksonville still has the pod. They know what Aurora, they know at least it's up there. They must have some inkling as to what it is. And if Jacksonville tells them it's true, they'll still believe it's true without any second request.
But we don't have a line to Jacksonville. St. Louis is our line to Jacksonville, and they have to be on board.
No, you have a line to Jacksonville. You made one. That's why that house over there, that's why I need to get 3 more people there. Because there's a debriefing agent and an attorney that actually have already made their way here.
What's a debriefing agent?
From Jacksonville.
Yes. No, they're taking you seriously. I don't know how seriously, but you're at least on their radar.
How long will it take to get over there? He literally says, how long will it take to cross the street?
How brave are you? If you just want to get up and run it, 2 minutes. If you get shot through the head on the way across, then catch you on the next time around's time if you really believe it's a circle.
Lee kind of peeks out. Is there anybody? Is the streets deserted? Is this like the beginning of a cheesy western?
No. The streets are. I mean, it's winter, so I mean, they're not like everybody's out there having block parties. But no, I mean, it's Temper's Militia still moving about. It's a people are going about their daily business or social affairs or whatever. I mean, no, it's the things look. I mean, not that this is a poppin' metropolis to begin with, but. I mean, as far as you'd expect out of this town, no, everything looks normal. And so far, not outside of the ones that Fat Tony's doing at the edge of town, not a single shot has been fired.
Where's
what direction was this beam from?
She points to, do you remember that, oh no, you wouldn't remember. This was campaign 1. It's coming from out toward the river. There's a spot out there. I think it's either in the river or across the river. I'd have to pull up a map of Herman, but it's either an island in the river or it's across the river. There's a flat area right by some foothills, and it's coming from those foothills, but it's to the north of town.
The house we're in. Is it? I mean, it's on a street with other houses, but is there anything like between this house and where that came from, other than? Or is it just open? Is it just like open?
It's relatively open, and from the vantage point of that hill, they'd have a pretty good shot. I mean, not a perfect one. There are things you could do to minimize your profile, but obviously the act of doing so would be super obvious to everyone around you and them, which might, if they don't know who you are, might make them start asking questions, but that's up to you. I mean, maybe they already know who you are anyway.
And I've got 2 questions.
Sure.
Where's the lav? And where's Hearts?
You do not know where Hearts is. Okay. The lav is parked right next to this house.
I look over at Lee and I'm like, well, we could always just drive where we need to go, right? The lav's right there. Just get in.
It's 3 steps away, but that's 3 steps to put a bolt in your head. But we have to get across the street. We just can't sit here and starve while we're invaded from outer space.
I look at Dragon. Do you have any way of like making a smoke screen or something? Or do we have? I look around. Is there anything around here, like in the kitchen or something, that we could like whip up real quick?
She turns to Songbird. Smoke bomb.
So I'm in the cellar, right?
Oh, you're down in the cellar? Yeah, she says, give me one moment. She goes over to the cellar, walks downstairs. Says, Songbird, I was just wondering if I could have one of your smoke bombs.
Yes, ma'am. Of course. Yeah, and our smoke bomb. Are we moving?
At least some of us are. We're going to try and make it over to Barnes' place. Up to you if you want to come.
Indeed. And then,
Shouldn't... She kind of pulls you aside and says, shouldn't at least, you know what? I tell you what, why don't we flip roles? You take the smoke bomb, you get them to the lab, you get them to Barnes's place. I want at least 2 people guarding him. She says, mush, kind of nodding with her head to Mark.
Right.
One will be Leopard, the other will be me.
All right.
Can't be Leopard. Out of character.
Why can't it be Leopard?
Because he's got a job.
Oh, he's got a job. You're right. So never mind. We'll just change that dialogue to we'll catch this in editing and change the dialogue to we can't leave him without a single guard. So I'll stay here and keep an eye on him.
Right.
And she picks up one of the guns that were in the half sorted duffel bags Leopard had left out. Go.
All right.
Get him there.
So then I, go to the window, peek out, try to assess the situation as best I can, and try to, figure out.
Okay, you may use your ranger skill or whatever the hell it was called. So 3d6 best 2 plus your perception.
That is a 19. No, perception. I'm sorry. That's a filthy cheater. That's an 18.
Okay, that's the threshold of the next level success. So a 19, a 19's cosmetic. Okay, so just to let you know, 18 is what mattered. It only matters, and it matters significantly every 6. It matters in a minor way every 3. So yeah, every 19 and 20 don't mean anything until you hit 21. But she said, so okay, you look out there. Well, you actually have the goggles. I mean, you have the full tech setup. So as you look out there, you can see in the distance that I really need to look where this island is because now this actually matters. You see that Emma is crossing over that direction. Do I lock up still when I switch?
No.
Okay, yeah, because now I'm on a regular computer. So,
Congratulations!
I can Alt Tab and look at things without locking up the display.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. I guess now I can also start playing around with all the backgrounds like you do.
While you're looking at that, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I actually ordered a new webcam. Get it here tomorrow.
Yeah, well, this is kind of my first webcam in several years. I've just been using the one built into my laptop, which is not very good. So, yeah. Wait for Chad to come back. But it looks like it is on the other side of the river. Because I remember they crossed water. They being the people that were pretending to set Amelie on fire. But I couldn't remember. That was like the first or second game of the first campaign. So I know that you, Brandon, don't have any recollection of this. But Eric, I would assume would. So yeah, they did cross the river. It is the area I'm thinking of is across the river. That across the river, there's some wooded areas, some open terrain, and then some hills and a bit of actually there's some other like little creeks and such over there. So okay, I mean not that it matters too much. I was just trying to figure out like was this I was trying to figure out this is an island or this was across the river. I mean not that it matters that much. This is across the river. Okay, so wait for Chad to get back. We'll give him a moment. Well, no, I'm answering questions for Broder. I don't need to wait on that. Okay, so Broder, looking across the way, Emma disappears into the river. You can see on the checking the opposite bank, you don't see anything of interest on any of the spectrums, at least those you're capable of scanning in any detail. If someone was there or was doing something, either they have moved or they have stopped altogether. So either they've hidden in place somehow or they ain't there anymore.
Okay.
But it's not like you don't see like, 24 guys in powered armor waving laser pointers at you.
Right, and they had indicated the direction in which they thought that the rangefinder scan or the target paint came from.
Well, yeah, and of course, Emma is, of course, uniquely good at this because, well, she sees as naturally in any light, as any form of light, as she does visible light. So, I mean, she literally saw the beam, like it was a string hanging in air, and and she tracked its origin back. I mean, with machine precision. So she knows where she's going. You don't know what she's going to find there.
All right. So then the plan then is to smoke the street, get in the truck, and then drive the truck across the street. Is that the plan?
Well, yeah, down about a block or so to get to Barnes' place.
Okay.
So it's basically, to get everyone safely into the truck, which might be, you may not need the smoke bomb. I mean, it's possible they're gone and this is a safe run, or it's only marked they were after, and they're not going to bother with a shot on you guys. Because as far as they're concerned, they may think they haven't been spotted yet. They may think they still have the total element of surprise. I mean, you don't know what's going on in their heads.
They're all gone. Double high five.
Yeah.
But the other option here is that, I mean, you could go super careful and smoke bomb it. And I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's how you want to play this. But you do not have any specific reason to believe I mean, even Mark was never actually shot at. So you have no specific reason to believe that you are definitely under immediate threat, but, I'm not going to ever tell you you're not.
Right. Well, then fuck it. Let's get in the truck.
All right, so you're just going to run for it? Okay. So you make a dash for the lav. There is no one in there, so, you're not Marlene, but someone to finally get to drive.
Bruno, give us an agility roll.
Do a lot.
See if you don't get shot in the head. Let's see. Do you just narrowly get out of the way?
Well, I got a
Of this-
14.
Songbird has a weakness to being shot in the head.
Okay. So
Confidence.
Songbird runs to the lav. Are you going to bring it closer to the door so people
Yes,
can
please.
go? Okay, so you're going to bring it around like a gentlewoman, so people can just bolt straight from the.
Yes,
the-
please.
Okay, so all right, you guys get to doing that and jump onto the lav. So I believe that now clears everyone but Philip's parents, Mark, and Dragon from the building. I'm going to guess, because I think everybody else got in the lab. Okay. So then the lab goes from there across to being door-to-door with Barnes' place. Gil, you would, Gil plus Philip, you guys can't miss the lab pulling up outside. I mean,
We hear it. now.
yeah, I say even though the thing's running on basically electrical engine, driven by hydrogen cells, it's still not a small or quiet vehicle even without the diesel engine.
I guess they got your message to come up here, but I kind of thought they'd just walk.
Gil's kind of peeking out between the bookcase to look like, oh, that's not them. I mean, it's ours, but that's not Tony.
Burp, burp, burp.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
No. That son of a bitch.
All right, so you guys
Open the
walk
door.
in-
Open the door. Burp, burp, burp.
I said, where is Tony then?
Gil runs down, opens the door.
Okay, so yeah, you open the door and Lee, Junior, Songbird, Poe, and that's it. Are all waiting for you. Leopard's already gone.
Where's Tony?
I thought it was you.
No, he's down the street with Leela. They're getting that robot thing they built up and working.
I'll go get him.
Please do.
Driving his sweet, sweet LAV.
Lee walks in and says, I understand that there's some people from Jacksonville here. Gil says yes.
I was gonna, I know you don't want
kid,
to play
sure.
with yourself, but
Can
do I have any
please
NPC?
see them? Fuck you, kid. I'm an asshole. Well, I'm kind of dark myself. You're just a punk. This goes on for 4.5 hours.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I don't have any NPCs on hand to move things along because Emma's walked off. Fat Tony's to the south.
It
Dragons
ends with
across
Gil
the
calling
street.
Lee an emo bitch and then Lee just going upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gil's not wrong.
I mean, he's not.
Yeah, there's a lawyer looking for you guys, and more importantly, there's someone from the military with him. With her.
Are we in trouble?
A
No.
lawyer?
The lawyer is your defense attorney.
What?
Oh man, I hope they're better than the station's PD.
God.
Yeah, hey, Gil,
Remember that guy?
show Poe the picture.
Gil takes out the picture of Molly in a bikini flipping us off.
Fucking bitch.
She made it. She fucking made it.
Good for her.
Possibly good for us. Well, although I don't think they're going to sue us out of this situation. But yeah, why don't you guys go talk to them real quick?
Yeah, I was going to say, as great as it sounds that we may be, free from Jacksonville, they are actually not even a worry of ours anymore.
Yeah. Well, listen, what she has to say, it won't take very long, and it won't take long for you to either agree or disagree with it. Please agree with it, by the way. And then I'm sure we need to talk actual real business with her, but why don't we just get that out of the way real quick?
Did you sign something?
Yes, I did.
Did you read it?
No, I did not.
You're joking.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh my
Lee
God.
walks up to Gil and goes,
Let me tell you something about my buddy Joe, who put his whole family up for indentured servitude to get a boat because he didn't read a contract.
That was a stand-up thing to do.
oh my God, if they would only put my whole family up to indentured servitude, I'd sign twice.
It's like a reverse mortgage.
Right.
Oh my God.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, guys, go talk to her
Okay. Where they at?
Okay.
upstairs.
Okay.
Lee says, let me know when you're done, and he goes to the kitchen.
What is Poe's last name?
Bitch lips.
What's whose last name?
Funky
Oh.
bitch lips.
His
Poe's
full
last name is Poe.
His full name
Oh,
is
Theodore
Poetry
Poe.
Bitch
That's
Lips.
right. He's Theodore Poe. That's right.
Yeah.
Poe is his last name, not his first name. Okay, so yeah, you guys go upstairs, and you see the two individuals I described. The man is back to standing up.
Junior unzips his coat and takes
The
his
woman
coat
has
off.
reasserted herself at the center of the table, and she stands up to shake your hands as you enter. And as you guys walk in, she holds out her hand and says, my name's Diane, and I am currently representing you, or slated to represent you, in the Jacksonville parallel court system. There's a few matters we need to get out of the way first, just some personal affairs to wrap up, so I can get to work in earnest on getting all of your issues, well, the issues I can control, resolved.
Okay.
Under my bomber jacket, I unzip it. I'm wearing the Jacksonville flight suit.
She says, please put your jacket back on and never show that again.
Oh. Okay. It's a little warm in here. Should I just
I'm
take
going
that
to
off
guess
too?
the person you took that from wasn't alive. I'm guessing. Don't answer that question. And we are not going to incriminate ourselves. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's practice something else.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of answering yes and no questions to me, I can already tell the kind you are. Don't talk. Go ahead.
Don't.
Yes, yes or no to me. Don't you look at anyone else, and I want to hear one or two words. Yes or no. Do you understand?
Don't you work for me?
You've not signed anything yet.
Well,
and in
I
fact,
just said, well, hand me a pen.
she takes out she hands you a hard copy, and then she also takes out
Is this real paper?
It really seems
No.
like all of my people are in
everywhere I
Jacksonville.
go is with powerful hallucinogens that make you imagine legal forms. She turns her data pad
It's a weird
around and
flex.
says, the same documents here is here. You can check for yourself. This is just a waiver that gives me the right to represent you in the parallel court system. Please sign with a biometric mark right here in the corner. Just touch it.
Boop.
She looks at it and says, yeah, okay. She takes out a handkerchief and kind of scrubs the corner and says, would you mind touching that again?
There you go.
She said, one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to say yes. Boop.
Okay.
And if you keep going, I'm going to fall in love with this woman.
It's not registering you. Well, I tell you what, why don't we go the old-fashioned way?
Uh-huh.
She takes out a stylus and says,
Wait, does he not have fingerprints or something?
never looked at his hands.
I grab his hand to see if there's something on his hand, like if he's
He
got
does have fingerprints.
schmutz on his hands or
No,
something.
he has fingerprints.
That's 50-50 shot. I would have schmutz on my hand.
Yeah. Or like 75-25.
She hands him a stylus and says, would you please just sign across the bottom next to the biometrics? We'll sort that out later.
Okay. Julius Ray Rula.
Thank you. She takes out a different stylus and pretends she never even owned that one.
Can I keep it?
and Oh, yes, please.
Down the front of the shirt.
She says, Dr. Poe, same deal. She hands you the print copy and then flips over to a separate copy that's set up for you. Biometric mark in the corner, if you please.
I actually do flip through this.
Okay, it's not that long. It's seriously like a one-page waiver, and it is exactly what she said it was. It's a whole lot of legalese, but the punchline, you're a smart guy, so I'm not going to make you roll for this. The punchline, unless legal's your weakness or something, but the punchline of this is basically that you are giving her the right to represent you for either the next 12 months or until a pending matter, and she gives a case number, or actually a couple of case numbers in there, are resolved. And if you flip to the appended page, you get the high level, I forget what it's called, it's the opposite of the disposition, but like when they file something in the court system, they give a real short description of the case. And it is basically matters related to what occurred with Olympus and you guys coming to Earth and whatnot. So it's exactly what she claims it is.
Okay. All right. I look it over real quick and I'll give my thumb.
Okay. So you mark it. Okay. See, Fat Tony's not in there, and Brodor does not have any grounds to sign, so that takes care of that. She then reaches into her accordion file, and she pulls out a printed picture and slides it across to you. Poe, it is a picture of what looks like, it is very nicely appointed, but it's not very large. So you don't know if this is a hotel room. You don't know if you're looking at a small apartment. If this is jail, this is literally the nicest jail you have ever seen. So you don't think it's that. But it is a picture of your wife. You have two kids, right? A son and a daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a picture of your wife, your son, and your daughter posed for the camera.
This is a piece of paper?
Yes. She said, I thought that this should be passed along to you. It's part of my case files anyway, and they will, of course, be material witnesses unless you think that's going to be a problem, in which case the sooner I know, the better, so I can find reasons to either discredit or exclude them from the process.
So as though they would be against me is what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. What are they going to say if we get them into court? Are they going to say you're a good guy, or are they going to say you came here to poison all the water supplies in Jacksonville and blow up the ocean?
Well, I have like a tear that falls onto the picture, and so my eyes are kind of welted up. And I didn't exactly do anything good on the space station, but you could argue that I was.
I don't care if you did anything good.
Things.
I'm not your pastor. I just want to know if you did what these, as she flips back to the appended page, are you guilty of this?
No.
Okay. And if I got them in court and they were to be asked, did you see him working in closed doors of the stations on plans to bring about the fall of, I don't know, the planet? Are they going to tell me? Are they going to say yeah? Or I don't care if they think you're a terrible father or whatever.
No, my wife knows. Well, my wife knows what happened, but it's not the people I was doing those things for. I would say they would be the ones who probably had plans for something along that, but not me.
So you might have been an unknowing accessory to some of this.
Correct.
Okay, I think I can work with that. And if you were accessory, it's going to be found anyway. So
I was technically being blackmailed, if that helps you at all.
That does help. If you were under duress, that's going to help. Once again, I just need to know, are they going to get in? Who's yelling at me?
Brodor.
Oh. I just hear the boy.
I just said yay because I was happy that it's a good thing that he was under duress.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought you just didn't know how to use the mute
Rex.
button.
I
I
was
thought
very
you just didn't
excited
know how
about
to use the
Rex.
mute button.
Why did I say A, not hey?
I thought, I thought he was yelling at a dog or something like, "Hey!"
I thought he had just I don't know, slipped into some kind of.
I thought like somebody showed up at his house to get in the middle of gaming.
So anyway, so yeah, okay. So she says, "Thank you. That's all that I will need from you for the time being. This is at least enough for me to get things started and to get you in a status to where you are untouchable out here. Well, untouchable by the people under the jurisdiction of this court. So get shot by a raider or whatever the hell's out here. Gun-toting cows. I don't know. I can't help you with that."
So I see her and I see this guy, right? Because he's in the room too.
Yeah, he's just right. He's right now. He's actually kind of peeking through a curtain or on the edge of a bookshelf that's been pushed in front of the curtains.
So, did you guys come here alone? Seems kind of crazy, just the two of you.
Well, we were low inserted. I'm not sure I'm even allowed to talk about this, but the short version is that we took a plane here that dropped us off quite close. Yes, we had other guards getting here, but once we reached town, we were escorted in with just him and me.
Okay.
I look at him. And you are?
This is literally the first time this guy has said anything, I believe. He says, I'm Agent Dylan Dreyfus, military intelligence. I'm here to try and very rapidly assess the validity of, well, quite frankly, to get any pieces of the puzzle that you have that we don't, because we're quite aware of the ship up there and we're quite aware of many of the things that have happened, but I think our superiors may need a little bit of added understanding to unstick the wheels.
Oh.
You're the man we need to talk to.
Yeah, what do you need to know?
I don't know.
Oh.
If I knew what I needed to know, I'd have already found it out. What I'm paid to do. So here I am, finding out what I don't know. He sits down at the table. She scoots to a chair to the side, and she's now back to working on her files. Eventually, the lab does come back. So, Songbird, you're back with Fat Tony, and she runs Fat Tony through a similar process, and she does show him a picture of his ex-wife, and he completely does not care. But she does have one.
Gil and Lee make their way up too.
Okay. So, yeah, he sits down and he pulls out a small, phone-sized device and sets it down in the middle of the table and said, I'm going to be using this to record you because your attorney's present. For court purposes, if this matters to you, this is confidential. For military purposes, this is not. I need to know what it is you know. What are the highlights we're missing? Olympus was one of the stations in the inner ring. Olympus got evacuated. We told them get everyone off of there because we were going to destroy it. They left you behind. Is this part correct?
Uh-huh.
We were told not that you were left behind, but that you had opted to stay behind or were forced to stay behind because of the fact that you were collaborators.
Collaborating with what?
With the research for the Aurora Project and possibly its material execution. Is that correct? Once again, this can't be used against you in court. I just need to know what's going on.
No.
I was a cop. What the hell was I even researching? No.
I thought you were a prisoner.
I was a cop
He was
before
cop
I was
first.
a prisoner. We were all prisoners. We were all something before being a prisoner.
Yeah, that's why they left us there, because they thought we were trash.
Yeah, do you know they left all the prisoners? They didn't come down and say, okay, this cell block in, you three assholes, and you are in here, fuck you. They left everyone in the blocks.
We had no idea what was going on. Doors were still locked.
We had
And
to break out.
one of the things that we have discussed in our own internal reviews is that if you were actually working with Aurora, them leaving you into the hands of a salvager and 4 pods that had only questionable reentry and landing purposes for personnel, they appear to be cargo pods, would not have made a whole lot of sense if you were important assets. This does bring me to another important question, which is Mr. Rulu.
Yeah, that's me.
What do you know about the artificial intelligence Emma?
What do you want to know?
Everything.
Well, that's
Okay, let's start with this. Is it true that you...
Had carnal relations with that AI.
I never had carnal relations.
No,
with
I
that
don't
AI.
care if... I don't care if... Look,
Tastes good.
if you and an artificial intelligence had... Look, I'm not here for that. I'm not...
Oh,
I'm not
you
your
said you wanted to know
pastor either.
everything. Now, if you either get
Okay.
everything or you don't.
I mean, he's got pictures. It's his party trick. We try to get him to stop. He just can't.
You know, your psych profile at least said high functioning. So
Yeah, that was doctored.
let me be more specific than in my questions. And why don't the rest of you fill in anything if you think it's missing? Did you incubate this? Excuse me if that's not the exactly right verb, but did you incubate or contraband this artificial intelligence at some point?
It was more of a high. It was more of a high-end compression. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for it. It was a high-end compression tied to my biometrics. That's what you're looking for.
Was it literally inside of your body?
Yes, it was.
I don't mean carnally.
No, I didn't put it up my butt. No, it was. It was tied to my. Essentially, my bioalgorithms.
What did you believe the purpose of this artificial intelligence to be?
The purpose of the implant.
No, the program that was carried on the implant. What did you believe its purpose was?
Well, I didn't really work on the everything was so compartmentalized. Emma made sure that things that were done in chunks, and what I worked on with her, I really didn't understand until much later that I was the one that designed the compression and the software that went into it. The actual hardware, I mean, I didn't know much about, but at the time I knew it housed information. I didn't know it housed Emma until much later.
So you since then had developed some form of I don't need the details that you might be prepared to give me, but am I correct that you have developed a unique interpersonal relationship with this intelligence that other humans don't possess? That she regards you in a way she doesn't other humans?
If you're asking if we have if she's a friend or more than a friend, then yes. But then
let me give you a rather crass scenario. Let's say let's play the trolley scenario, and let's say all of your friends were on one track and you were on the other. Do you think she would likely sooner kill anyone but you than to kill you?
All right, mister. Let's skip a few steps here and get down to the point. To answer your question, Emma is way more powerful than you're giving her credit, and she would stop the damn trolley instead of going into a philosophical question.
I'm not asking a
died.
philosophical question.
No, I know what you're trying to get to, and I'm going to try to answer it because you're going to be talking back and forth with Junior here for an hour trying to get the answers you're looking for.
He looks at you, and you think somewhere in his poker face, you see a little bit of respect in his eyes. He says, okay.
Emma has outgrown her programming. Emma has thrown away her original purpose and is working on a new purpose. Emma regards us as friends, but she loves him.
Okay, then perhaps you can get me to his relationship to her really is a secondary element of the main question I need to know. Where did she come from? And I was trying to simply get to, is he the type of person that would likely have that information?
Emma was originally programmed by Future Technologies.
The same company that made that thing in orbit.
Correct. There is another version of the software that is at odds with us that calls himself Max. Is running that.
May I ask you a question? You have to understand, I'm not trying to argue with you, but it's my job to suspect everything. It's my job to see the problems that are... I'm intelligence. That's what I do. Do you think it's possible that Emma is still working with or for Future Technologies or its purposes?
No, I don't believe that to be the case.
May I ask you what makes you believe that is the case or not the case?
Because she killed the person that programmed her.
Well, that is interesting. Everything we recovered from Future Technology says that shouldn't be possible. So either she wasn't programmed in Future Technologies, or
as I told you, she has outgrown her initial programming.
Did you know what it is she wants right now?
I've asked her that question many times.
We're taking a hell of a risk by leaving her walking, but she's not our biggest problem. I just want to make sure she doesn't become our biggest blind spot. And understand, we have to watch her because of her power, but we've also made a very divided decision not to antagonize her, which is why we have made no moves whatsoever since she has been there against Amboy or her other facilities, because we don't know what the result would be of antagonizing her. We also don't know what the result is of allowing her to have unchecked growth. But for now,
what I think you really want more than anything else is the opportunity to speak with her.
No, actually, I don't. Because
after this is all over, at least.
Oh, sure, over a beer. But look, I've got to be honest with you. I don't know how to talk to that thing. I mean, I have no respect, disrespect, trust, or distrust. I'm very, very good at reading people, debriefing people, getting the information I want from people. And maybe in some arguable metaphysical way, she is a person. I don't know. I'm not qualified to judge that question. I'm just saying I don't know how to talk correctly to an artificial intelligence, an android, whatever you want to call her.
I will give you a piece of advice for when you do meet her. Talk to her like she's a person.
So,
do you know what we're trying to do here?
That's, if you will allow me a little bit more space, then I will. I intend to get to that.
Okay.
Very soon. Very soon.
Because we don't have a lot of time.
I know. I'm trying to move quickly through the things I need to do to even prepare what I'm trying to prepare here. I'm going to move as quickly as I can. We know the ship has an artificial intelligence. We know its name is Max. Its records are still extant and not that difficult to find.
Do you know what else is on the ship?
We, based on its design, have come to gather that it is most likely some kind of an either generation ship or a stasis ship.
Stasis. There are many people that are asleep up there, and they have facilities buried around the planet as well.
And do you believe that these people, or at least the organization they are under, is in fact working toward the general extinction of humanity as it exists on this planet?
I do.
You believe they are a profound existential threat to us?
Yes, I do.
And have you seen direct evidence of that?
Yes.
May I ask what form that evidence took?
Max.
Okay, I can accept that. We also are aware of do you believe they are responsible, or at least likely responsible, for the disease that was being cultivated in the southern states?
Their program was. They left agents on Earth when they left.
I have he hits a button. He doesn't remove the device, but he hits a button on it and then hits another button and says, I'm not prepared to hear your request.
Okay.
I may not be able to provide all of it, but I will see to it the right people hear this request very, very quickly.
Right now, what we're trying to do is get everybody to the table talking Aurora is up there and possesses a threat to life on Earth. Mars is on its way, and we're not sure what they have planned, but we're going to be reaching out to them as well. And the only way we make it through this is if everyone down here stops fighting each other, starts talking, and instead of reacting, comes up with a viable plan to deal with Aurora.
That's going to be difficult. Not the trying to come to a peace, trying to point our guns in the same direction. That part's easy. The lasting peace afterward, that part's hard, but that's not the part we're discussing. It's the middle part, dealing with Aurora.
Most important part is Max.
It's not just Max.
If we can take Max out, Emma can make a move.
Some of our most sophisticated weapons have been bounced off of that thing. I'm telling you, if we wanted to, simply shooting it down, at least with the plans that we're prepared to attempt or discuss publicly, leaving out anything classified, we haven't found a way to do it yet. I fully believe what is in orbit right now is literally the most sophisticated thing humanity has ever built. Bar none.
Their intention is to come down here, though.
So your ask from the Naval Air Station and from its civilian assets and from its cooperative assets is to come to the table and talk.
Yes.
Are there any of our cooperative assets that have been giving you difficulty?
We need St. Louis here as well.
If I get my superiors to sign off on this, to at least continue exploring this, then I will have St. Louis at the table.
Okay. The National Southern Army, we are reaching out to them to come as well. All I'm asking for is a guarantee of their safety to reach the conversation to talk.
We guarantee them and their assets, so long as they remain within their borders, complete and total ceasefire and safety. As long as they either stay within their borders or only take motions that are necessary to doing this. As long as they make no aggressive moves towards us or our territory, I already have with me the ability to provide them with a treaty providing a total and complete ceasefire between our forces.
Okay.
There are elements within our government that are not comfortable with the technology they currently wield, but we can put that aside for now because
we all have a larger concern that's
and you don't have
to the sky.
You don't have to convince me that concern exists. I only need to better understand its nature.
Would you happen to, and this is Lee talking, would you happen to be willing to convince St. Louis that this whole situation is real?
I'm not going to give them a choice.
Excellent.
That's going to be my next stop, is I'm going to have a talk with Joe, and I am going to tell him that he is going to be here.
We know where their original landing space was, but I assume it's going to be changed. It was Nevada.
Makes sense. But we're closing up on them. The more we start to understand their plan, the more they're going to try something wild. Hell, they may even try to drop ships right in the middle of us. Be ready for anything. But I need to go file a report, and I need to go make sure that Joe takes off his silly costume and shows the fuck up. Is there anything else that I can help you gentlemen with in the immediate sense?
Those are the important things.
Possibly some troops in town. If they send some people here, there's only so much we can do.
They have shown the ability to drop a drop pod full of robots. Military robots.
I will try my best. I'm not military command. but I will try my best to convince them it is in their best interest. Well, if nothing else, if this is where you're holding your peace conference and you have groups we don't have good contact with agreeing to come here, letting this area fall obviously does not behoove any of us, but you are going to have to get the other sides to accept something. The presence and open operation of our military intelligence services. And I realize that may be a hard sell to certain parties. Some will find it refreshing, some will find it wholly terrifying.
What does that mean?
I mean, if you want us to make sure this peace conference that you're planning goes off without having a pod of robots dropped into the middle of it, that means we have to have air power up there. That means we have to have troops on the ground. That means we have to have plainclothes blending into the population. I don't know how Mars is going to feel about that. I don't know how the South is going to feel about that.
What if they do the same?
Then it becomes chaos, operational overstep. No one knows what anything is, where anyone's got people positioned.
Leah speaks up. What if we have a neutral operational command? Not of the troops, but of the security forces.
Who would you propose that every side would agree to?
The person that no one would agree to. That man right there. And he points at Gil. He's the compromise no one will like, and he has the skill set to actually organize the security for the town.
Kemper's militia is already listening to him.
Gil's like, thanks.
And you're right. It will sound if we get Mars to talk, it will sound believable because we have every demonstrable evidence that we've made attempts on his life. So,
on my life? Gil's talking.
Yeah, man. Didn't they send planes and stuff after us?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. I'll be completely honest. I've kind of lost track of how many times I've been shot and by who.
The air-to-surface missile was not meant to get caught up in a parachute. I saw that debriefing. Quick thinking, by the way. But whoever it was that pulled that, but that wasn't where that missile was supposed to go. It was meant for the pod and the vehicle.
Yeah, well, we'll say water under the bridge, maybe?
Water under the bridge. That's what we're trying to do here is... It's not my place to talk about who made what mistakes. Not because I don't have my opinions, but it's not my place.
Well, we'll leave. He looks at his lawyer. He goes, well, we'll leave that for the courts to decide.
I hope you get a good settlement. And...
Wait, there's a settlement?
He stands up and turns off his device and says, well, unless you have any further questions for me or your attorney, we need to make immediate plans to get out of here.
I have an out-of-character question because I think I missed it. Did they agree to help get the Southern Army to the table?
No, that's on us to do.
Okay, cool.
That's on you and Billingsley.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I didn't know if I missed that or not. No problem.
Thank you for listening and for cutting through the red tape. I reach out a hand to...
He shakes. He says, I know. Now pray to whatever you believe in because... red tape isn't gone. I just put myself between you and it.
Fair enough.
He turns to Diane, and she nods and quickly puts all of her stuff back into her briefcase and then stands up and said, well, we're going to go downstairs and see if we can find something to eat while we await our ride. And they go downstairs.
Thank you, Diane.
They step out the door. I go over to a chair and just collapse in the chair and just kind of, how was I?
What do you mean?
Speaking up, talking to them, trying to cut through the bullshit.
Philip, you are the moral heart of this organization. You were excellent.
The door downstairs opens and closes. You hear somebody entering.
Gil says,
they've already left, right?
Yeah, they're downstairs.
I'm going to follow them downstairs because I have something to say to Dan.
Okay, so as you follow them downstairs, they Are they're just kind of bullshitting with each other? Like it is total small talk. You don't even know what they're talking about. Like it sounds like it's maybe some newer TV show or something that is, more recent than Little House on the Prairie.
The movie.
Ass.
There's apparently a remake of Little House on the Prairie. It's
actually, I could
Little
totally
House in
see
Jacksonville.
that. Yeah, I could. Well, no, not Little House in Jacksonville. I could totally see that they have like a, Little House on the Frontier that it's like a completely fictionalized story of like Little House on the Prairie, but in the modern day, dealing with.
But it's a propaganda hit piece, right? Because they don't want anyone to leave. They don't want anyone. They don't want anyone to leave.
Dude, they could tell the truth and no one would want to leave.
Well, exactly. They're not going to paint it as this glorious, westward expansion freedom thing.
Yeah. I mean, they could paint it pretty honestly and no one would want to leave. So, okay. But you said, Dr. Poe, you follow them down. So you catch them, and upon seeing you follow them, and realize you're not just trying to get past them, they stop. As you're about to talk to them, the door opens and Emma walks in, her clothes still dripping river water. And she walks past you and goes upstairs like nothing's amiss.
Yeah, that's normal. Diane, I know this isn't your place or your job or anything, but if you could get a message to my family for you.
I can.
Just tell them I'm sorry.
That could potentially be incriminating without telling them rather what you're sorry for, or you can give it to me on a sealed piece of paper and I can deliver to them that way. But if I simply carry the phrase, he's sorry, that could be interpreted to mean any number of things.
I've really got nothing else to say to them. I don't
think
they'd want to hear anything else.
Could you at least write on a piece of paper and I can deliver it as a personal message? And don't ever show me what's inside of that paper. I can speculate based on what you just told me, but I never want to know for sure.
Okay. I actually take out the photo I have of them that I had in my inventory, and I write just a small note of I just say I'm sorry for not being there and I'm sorry for whatever. Basically just apologizing for being wrapped up in those things. And it was more of like it's kind of like a goodbye. It reads like a goodbye.
Okay. So you then hand it to her. She does not open it. She places it inside of her briefcase. So back upstairs, or did you have more? I'm sorry. Did you have more?
No, that was it.
Okay.
I just say thank you and I just walk away.
So back upstairs, and by the way, they did bring Fat Tony and Leela here, which also, I did mention that, but in case I got missed in there, or I forgot to say it, I thought I said it, but Fat Tony is now there along with Leela and their robot who's standing downstairs. And Fat Tony has signed his papers with the. Well, that's right, because I talked about how he didn't care about his ex-wife. So now I know I did. I know I talked about him. So okay, so you guys come in, or rather, Emma comes upstairs, and Junior. I'm all over the place with names today. But Emma walks back in, and Poe, you are free to follow if you wish. There doesn't need to be any substantial time gap here. But Emma walks in and says, I could have tracked them, I think, but I didn't feel it was yet time for confrontation. They were there. I found footprints. I found a very, very faint electromagnetic aura.
Emma, do you think this body can take one of those?
Close quarters, yes. At range, I'm not sure.
What if there's more than one?
Once again, close quarters, yes. At range, I'm not sure.
I know this isn't your main mind, but be careful.
I believe I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do any of you happen to still have possession of the particle weapons?
Wasn't
I shake my head now.
Didn't one get like put on hearts?
Yeah.
I say.
Oh, did one get mounted into hearts?
Mhm.
Oh no,
Yeah.
was he holding one?
No, I thought it got like mounted.
I thought so too.
Okay. Then she would know that. So she says, the particle weapon mounted in hearts. Do you mind if I unmount it?
That's fine.
Thank you.
It's only been used to almost kill Junior.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Hey, Emma. Do you think these might help? And I give her one of the two. I show her that I have two, but I give her one of the two EMP grenades.
No.
Oh, all right.
I appreciate the offer, but their armor being of military issue will likely be hardened
Electronically hardened. Yeah.
So the energy weapon that you said almost killed Junior, is that the one that she had?
No,
Someone
she
Hart's
tried to
had.
choke him out.
I thought she also had a particle weapon in her arm.
Oh, she did. You're right. She did. I take that back. You're right. One of her bodies actually did have a particle cannon she had mounted in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he got shot through with it.
Was that this body? That was her prior body, but she would know where that was. I don't remember what happened to it. Does anyone remember what happened to that gun?
I don't
I
recall.
do not.
I don't remember how that
find it-
body was taken apart.
I find it odd
Was
that we
it-
wouldn't have recovered her body at the time.
Yeah, was it like, did Hearts rip the head off, or?
I don't remember. Well, okay, well, we're just going to, I'm sure somebody listening to these in order knows exactly what the answer is, but this is how gaming works. You don't remember these things perfectly. Let's hand wave and move on. We're going to say that's the gun that ended up in Hearts, and she is now going to reclaim it. So we'll just go with that.
Retcon.
Because that's right when after we found out we were infected too. Or like, yeah, we were infected with that.
Yeah, so she's going to, she's going to go get that part.
Yeah, because I remember what happened to the one Philip had. He gave it to the sheriff of Cape.
Okay.
And the one I had got destroyed.
So Junior looks at Emma and is like, so is Mark the Martian going to talk to Mars? Because Gil brought that satellite uplink all the way here. Are we gonna use it or what?
He's formulating a message last I knew.
Oh.
I can go check on Dragon and see.
Yeah.
Well, I was just asking. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, Lee's talking. Mark is willing to talk.
Is Billingsley up on what we need?
I have spoken to Billingsley. He is amenable to it, but I think that someone needs to work with him to make it happen. Get him a radio, sit him down, talk to it, because last time I saw him, he was trying on new suit vests.
What?
Oh, God, someone that could appreciate. Oh, he's
Yeah.
never getting away from my mom if I don't get down there.
Everyone's like, oh, yeah. All right.
Also, I would like to request volunteers.
For
okay, yeah, count me in.
Excellent.
God damn it.
It will require that form of courage. I don't intend to wait for them to find the right time and make their move.
Wait, you're talking about bait?
Oh, I'm not talking about bait. I'm talking about an ambush, a hunt and kill. We are going to seek them out the way they've sought us out now twice. We are going to find them, and we are going to kill them.
Okay.
Lee says, well, that is not my area of expertise. I feel I would only slow you down.
Gil? How about some of the Tempers militia? They probably be better than any of us at that.
Yeah, I can round some boys up. A few good women.
They might be good on defense, but I would worry about them on the attack. They're not used to facing enemies with this kind of technology.
As a whole, no. But I can pick some out if we want. Depends. Do you want to go large group or small group?
Large group to defend the town. Small group to be on the attack.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, I guarantee you they'll be more effective than me in the field. So,
Philip, your role is too valuable to risk on loss in a random field action. Songbird.
I'm in.
Junior is in as well.
Yeah.
Oh, would you be willing to accompany and at least stay somewhere nearby should one of these individuals require medical aid?
Are we sure that they're here to harm us? Didn't they already have the opportunity? I'm just not convinced.
I am.
You think they're here to disrupt the peace talks?
I think they're here to selectively destroy certain individuals and certain assets. And I think right now they're only trying to bide their time. They're trying to prepare a trap. And likely tonight, when we are less prepared and have lower visibility, they will make their move. And they will have the upper hand.
Dragon says that they're her counterparts. So if they are her enemies, then they are likely going to be ours.
Lee says we did predict this.
So we will hunt them in the open, and it will be incredibly dangerous. Not the most dangerous task yet to come, but it will be dangerous.
You said that they're emitting some sort of a signal?
Their technology, especially once they use it, it leaves a very, very brief and a very, very faint trace of energy behind that I can detect. I can't tell you where they were an hour ago, but I can tell you where they have been within the past few minutes.
Can we modify Songbird and my goggles to detect that emission? Like when it flares up?
Yes, the difficulty will be it will only be visible from a distance when active. It will only be visible in remnant if you are close, very close. A matter of feet. But if you want to have a few seconds while they charge a weapon or something, I can give you that.
Okay.
Be careful out there, guys. Those things are fast.
Oh, I know. One of them wanted to kiss me, so I figure I'll give him the opportunity to do so again.
Yeah, maybe it'll get its chance this time.
You need to be fast.
You are a prude.
I am. He's got to take me to dinner first.
Junior, do you have Junior, do you have any skill with weapons?
Well, I mean,
yes, he does.
I mean, I'm a fair shot.
Uplink.
Yeah,
in front of him.
He made the best shot I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I'm a dead eye.
Yeah, Gil did not forget.
Then
he gives Junior the side eye.
I give him the
How
thumbs
could you
up.
forget those scars you have?
Thumbs up. No, what were you going to say about the satellite uplink?
The satellite uplink is going to become much more useful than it currently is within the next couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
Once that occurs, perhaps I have a different task for you.
Oh, okay.
Do you have
Make sure they transmit nothing out of here.
Oh, like run an active jam.
And adapt to anything they attempt.
I could probably even hack into their comms.
Are you
once
sending
they're
up
active.
satellites, or are there still some up there you've taken control of?
She looks at you and says, Philip, you are not the one I would have expected to put it together so quickly. The Gauss weapons, I'm not sure they would be of any effect against the hull of the Aurora. They are going to be used in a group to tandem launch roughly 1 meter long microsatellites that will begin orbiting the Earth and create a brand new communications network and positioning network that this time will be purely under my control, and no one but me will have the ability to drop from orbit.
Like the old Starlink program.
My hope is to pepper the sky with them very rapidly. And so far, the project has gone undetected. I have been pleased to see that everyone that has encountered the launch platform has presumed it was a weapon, which is why I think Max did not interfere with it, because he knew the weapon would be insufficient. But I don't think he evaluated it as anything more than a weapon.
I don't say this often enough. Emma, you're brilliant.
Thank you.
All right, so I look at her and go, okay, then I'll get the uplink working and ready to go, and yeah, I'll loop it through your network, and we'll keep any communications down. And if you want, if they start activating communications, I could probably help you zero them.
Anything that you can provide will be of use.
Okay.
Gil goes over to Songbird, pokes at the duffel bag. Can I have one of these?
Help yourself. I haven't had much of an opportunity to look and see if we even got anything of anything worthwhile.
Dan, what's in the bag? Golf clubs? Please tell me golf clubs.
Head.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So
I stick my dick. Wait, no, never mind.
It's just a rotting. I mean, after all these years, it's really just Gwyneth Paltrow's skull at this point. But
It's a very leathery skull.
okay. So
What's the difference from it being attached?
So the primary things that you find that might be worth having is you do find an armored vest. You don't know what exact tech level. You know it's better than standard soft armors.
I have full body armor at -10.
Oh, you're not going to beat that. Okay. You might match that. Oh, wait. No, it's a -10? No, hold on. Let me recheck what the armor level is for a particular type of armor. But I think -10 is going to be probably about as good as you're going to get. You might go up to the next level, but probably not. But anyways, okay. That doesn't matter too much. But the main things that you find in there is there are assault rifles. There's 3 of them that are clearly designed. They have some kind of electronic or energy-based assistance to them, meaning that when you pull this trigger, you think more than just a bullet happens, though a bullet might be part of the equation. I might give you more information, but you know all that nerd shit.
Yeah.
The other thing is they do have underslung grenade launchers, and you do see boxes of grenades that are there for them.
Well, that works. Do they beat 3d6?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Okay.
Because especially if you know how to read the abbreviations, the high explosive ones would probably get you up to about 4.
No, not the grenades. The
the assault rifle. Yes and no. They're not going to beat your 3d6 damage, but they're going to carry armor penetration.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So they're going to do a 3d6 hole in somebody, but they're going to have a much easier time cutting through armor than what you have, Will.
All right. I leave my...
Which Tony would be able to tell you this part because he's been out there field testing one of them.
Yeah.
So he knows exactly what they do.
I have Songbird kind of show me what buttons to press without, how to use the thing without just pointing it at a guy and ejecting the mag by accident. And
yeah, I'll walk him through how to properly eject the magazine and to chamber around and yada 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 yada.
And Emma also preloads one with a single magazine and an armor-piercing grenade, hands it to Dr. Poe, and says, when you're ready, you know how to pull a trigger, and this button up front will fire the grenade. I don't recommend firing it right in your own face.
Sound advice.
She says, I have other things to prepare. And she starts walking toward the door. But when she does, she pauses a moment at the door and looks back and says, I know this may not be what you planned for today, but none of you can believably tell me you don't want your pound of flesh. And she then walks out the door.
Man, she got that from me, y'all. You're welcome.
She got that.
Your words coming out of Emma's mouth.
Like a proud daddy watching her walk out. If only I didn't shoot that guy.
And how many mags can I have for this?
Good Lord, if this thing goes on long enough, you need to start counting them. Go ahead and start by giving yourself 4, 1 and 3 out.
So, this assault rifle that Gil, you have an assault rifle, correct?
Yeah.
Does it have a scope, or is it just?
It has a limited scope. It's maybe like a 4 times scope or something like that. It's. Do you know what a prismatic sight is? It's a thing we've played with in real technology, but I don't know that we've ever actually bothered to build out. Like a lot of, so simple example where probably everyone knows this from, because you've all seen one, though you probably never had any idea what it was you were looking at. You see now on Star Trek, they always have like the phasers that give them tennis wrists that they hold in their hand. Have you ever wondered how they aim those? Well, if you've noticed, well, yeah, but if you've noticed, there's a little thing on the front of them that flips up. That's what's called a prismatic sight, which basically means that you don't have to have like a full sight in front of you. That wherever you hold this thing, there will be a plate on it. That's the top of the prism or the back of the prism, and that will reflect whatever the gun is pointed at, regardless of what angle you hold the gun at. So you could hold the gun upside down and way off to the left of your face and glance down it, and you would see exactly what it's aimed at.
Oh, okay.
It's not a terribly remarkable technology. I don't know why we don't use them. I'm sure there's some reason, but it's like I said, it's a real technology. It's been around since like the 50s or 60s or something like that.
How long before they're going to go out and do this hunt?
She told you it's at least going to be a couple of hours because she said she wants to get her satellites launched.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, Gil, let me see that gun.
I hand it over to him.
And then I'll go down into the lab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to abstract technology design, and I'm going to try and link his sight to basically take the same transmission that I'm planning on sending to Songbird's goggles. So that way he can also, if I start identifying targets, it'll come up on his site.
Ooh, it's good. So the issue here is going to be availability.
I'll even cannibalize one of my own zoo goggle optics if I have to.
Well, so that's what I was going to say is for each one of these, we're going to need some silicon for the silicon god.
Don't we still have those goofy helmets we used to have? Couldn't you somehow?
Oh no, yeah, you could cannibalize those, but something has to die for this to work. It could be a data pad; they would have the necessary technology. It could be one of the zoo goggles. It could be those helmets that you guys had. But something that has optics technology has to die for any of those to work.
What about the GPS?
Yeah, that shit never works.
That shit never works anyway.
No, it does. Tony does use it to navigate. It now keeps irritating him by trying to move him to Nevada, but it does work.
What if I don't tell Tony I took it?
He's going to notice the gaping hole in the console.
I don't know. We put a cat box in there, he'd never know.
Yeah. we have piles of those data pads though that we've stolen over the.
I'll use data pads and the headsets.
Okay, so start marking off each because I say the zoo headset, man. I don't know. I recommend cannibalizing that. you're switching out a major ability for a party trick.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, but I game master to player, I don't know that I recommend sacrificing any of the zoo stuff on this.
Okay.
But so who's got the data pass? I know there was like 3 or 4 of them.
I have one. Actually, I think I have 2. I have 2 now.
I still have one.
You had 2. Poe had 1, so that's 3.
Gil had 1, but he threw it through a wall.
Okay, well that's unusable.
And a second cape.
I do have one of those helmets too.
Well, that's 3 right there. So that's enough to set up Brodor, to set up Gil, and to set up Poe. And with Emma, you don't need it because she can just receive the data.
Right.
I mean, she's probably not even using the rifle in any standard sense of the word. Brodor, you look so damn snuggly.
I'm very comfy. My fucking ass was killing me.
Yeah, sorry about that, baby.
Oh well, you're very manly. So I needed to move onto the couch, and then I'm sitting under this vent, and it's fucking freezing. So yeah,
we should all just cuddle with him and play this game. Why aren't we doing that?
So you don't want to cuddle
it's not
with
Tiger
me.
Print. All right, so do you want me to roll once or 3 times? How do you want me to do this?
To pull, yeah, you can give me a collective roll.
Okay.
I mean, because it's similar enough because you're starting with similar objects and ending with similar targets because you're building them onto these prismatic sensors. So, yeah, just give me one attack roll.
Okay.
So yeah, 3d6 best 2 plus your int. Smart. Keep all int.
That is 18.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's plenty. So yeah, you're able to get them set up in time that if you are able to get a signal to them to get useful information, you will be able to highlight. You're totally going to be able to highlight the targets in the process.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that message
Barbara
pop
Gordon.
across the Discord. Is anyone going to try and call off the attack on the arch?
I mentioned something earlier. I'm pretty sure he just intends that to happen.
I don't know anything about it. I mean, the only people that could call it off are Gil and Songbird.
So I wasn't going to bring it up in the current situation.
Right, in a meeting room full of people?
Yeah, that. That was not yeah.
Go ahead.
So no, I mean, yeah, Lee could definitely. Everybody has to go to the bathroom, and we're not going to spend all of our time just staring at each other in a conference room. So yeah, you can catch Lee like outside if you want to talk to him.
All right. Well, so how logistically, how can we even communicate with them? I mean, I'm assuming that we have walkie-talkies or whatever. We've spoken in the past.
Songbird the leopard, he means.
Yeah.
That's a Dan question.
How do Songbird and Leopard talk to each other?
Yeah. How do we communicate? Do we have long distance comms of some kind?
Long distance comms.
Dead drops, like
you don't know the details of it. You know it must be ground based because when the satellites went down, it didn't bring anything. You weren't affected. You're guessing probably you would know the goggles themselves actually get you part of the distance. Okay. You're not sure. You do know. You would probably also know that the goggles themselves also do form a sort of self-healing network where they pick up data from. They basically kind of bounce signals off of each other.
Then I'll attempt to ping him via the goggles then.
Okay. So especially with the information that Dragon has on their communications network, you'd be able to piece this information together. So the question is, what is the message you're sending them?
I think simply, you know.
Oh, you don't be Leopard. I'm sorry. You just need to talk to Leopard. You don't even. I was thinking Jacksonville people.
Yeah,
you just need to talk
to
Leopard.
We would just simply, very succinctly tell him to, you know, abort mission.
Okay. He pounds back a confirmation, and followed by returning to nest.
There you go. Done. It's beautiful.
All right, I realize this is kind of a low-key spot to end it. I thought it might be nice to end it on something like really a little bit more upbeat and kind of, I don't know, a little bit more crazy, like the...
Well, it's kind of, we did all the setup, right? Like,
yeah. Well, and the other thing is, I want to stop this one here because it's a little bit early-ish, which I know we tend to run over anyway. And also, I need to ask the other players a question about some upcoming logistical stuff, which we're not going to bore the audience with. But I do need to ask all of them a question before they bounce. So I tell you, next time we're going to pick up with you guys on the offensive, going after these guys scouting out the camp or the town. But for now, post game on today's game.
This is a good one. Yeah, a really good one. Yeah,
enjoyed it. Is required.
Yeah, I love the conversation with completely caught off guard that it was a lawyer from Jacksonville. Was not expecting that, but I
have been waiting for months to introduce her because, but it's just, it never came up. It's like she has been there for a lot of games. I don't mean in Dragon's House, but she has been trying to work your case for many, many games. And it's just like, all the times when it plausibly she could appear just didn't kind of work out. And this was the first time where it's like, yeah, and the way I've kind of written it is that she and the agent she was with are supposed to be natural enemies, but they're not. And so
I really like the agent because unlike a lot of the people from the factions we've dealt with, this guy was very straightforward. He was cut through the bullshit, and he didn't seem to... Like, he was willing to tell us things he probably shouldn't have been willing to tell us.
Well, he only cut through the bullshit because Philip got him to cut through the bullshit. It was because he was ready to do the back and forth dance with Junior, and then that's when Philip, stepped into that. Let's not do this.
No, he really didn't. He was trying to get at info. He wasn't trying to bullshit around with Junior. His motivation in that was he was trying to evaluate you as a source. And it's like, you're not easy to evaluate as a source. Like, how credible are you?
He's also the hardest person to talk to.
Exactly. I say any conversation with you. Do you want fries with that is a 30-minute conversation.
Well, who doesn't want fries? Everybody likes fries, right? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but do you
fries
like
are really good
fries?
For you?
Fries are all right.
And, but
they have sweet potato fries?
But
we just need to have Lee and Junior, just those two characters. Like I don't
debate.
know. I want them to do I want them to do commentary on anything.
Like Lee has to convince Junior to do something, and that's the unstoppable force of the manipulator against the immovable object of the manipulator.
Junior's so amenable to everything. He'd be like,
that's why he's the immovable object. It's like trying to punch a breeze. What do you hit?
You just
that fucking breeze talking shit.
You just let nature take its course.
But he didn't want to make any decisions, so it would be like trying to get Junior to make a decision, not just talk, but actually do something.
Yeah. So no, he wasn't trying to play games with you. He was just trying to establish two things, which is, were you personally credible, and two, exactly how close were you to Emma? Meaning, he was trying to establish, like, if you're credible, what kinds of information could he get out of you? I mean, if someone was just there and happened to look up when they heard the bang and saw two cars wrapped around each other, asking them whether the drivers were flipping each other off or talking on the phone, I mean, it's a waste of time, right? These people don't know. That's kind of what he was trying to establish in regards to Emma was, what do you know about her, and is anything you say about her credible?
Right.
And that's when you just kind of started. Well, I mean, you were playing your character. I mean, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's why he was getting all loop-de-loo with you. He was like. He was like, okay, I am not paid enough for this.
So when Philip threw him that lifeline, he grabbed right onto it.
Oh yeah, that's why he went straight in to Philip, because Philip was being straight with him, and Philip was, I know this, I don't know this, whatever. And when he set out parameters to a question of, look, I'm not here to debate semantics. I just want to know, is this a this? Is this a thing? Then yes, you got a straight yes or no. There was no juniorisms in there.
Yeah, Dan, when I mentioned the old Starlink program, do you know what Starlink is?
The name is familiar, and I feel like I should know it. Was this?
It's what's currently being put out there right now. It's Elon Musk's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Isn't it his thing to do worldwide internet?
It is.
Yeah, with microsatellites. Yeah,
and I kind of took it as the way it is right now. I took it as he's successful. So I read a book about it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I that's what I thought it was, but I couldn't remember whose it was, because Amazon and I think Google also had similar plans. But theirs, I think, we're going to use. One was using high altitude drones, and the other, I think, was with temporary balloons.
Yeah, that was Facebook's.
Okay.
Yeah.
What they don't have is SpaceX. SpaceX has been doing launches of these microsatellites, dropping about 60 at a time in orbit.
Yeah, so that's what Emma was doing by doing this assembly line on all of these Gauss rifles, was not to make a weapon, but simply to make a rapid fire launch platform that hopefully can get a constellation of these satellites in orbit before anyone can react to it, and shoot the launch site or something like that. But that's what she's been planning this whole time. Except when you guys go in there, you either largely ignore the corpses or abuse the corpses. And
well, with launching them with a Gauss gun, would they even notice? Because it's not a launch; you're really just. There's no fuel expended.
No, there would be a surge of energy, electromagnetic energy, which obviously on an Earth that's basically black and quiet, that would stand out quite brightly. But no, there's not expended fuel. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a true Gauss weapon actually runs quite a bit cooler than a railgun does.
Yeah, I love that reveal, because I like that it's not. We all assumed it was a gun because it's a Gauss rifle. So
yeah,
it was. Excuse the pun, but that as a game master, when I was toying with the idea, because I did toy with the idea, what could she be working on in there? And it was like, and I toyed with the idea of the Gauss rifle, and I'm like, no, excuse the pun, but it's a cheap shot. That I solve all your problems by she puts up a quad barrel Gauss rifle and pepper boxes Aurora, and that's just that. It's like, no, why don't I just play the game by myself and tell you guys how it ended? I mean, that's not an ending you guys control. And that's something I'm really trying to do, is I'm really trying to make sure that your guys' actions are, one, having at least any plausible success I can give them. And two, I'm trying to move you guys into the role of the actors. You're no longer the fox. You are now the hound. And that's a change I really feel I need for the ending to work. Because a spectator's ending, I mean, I guess it would make internal consistency sense, but I don't know. That's just not how I want this. I mean, we've been playing this, almost 3 years now? That's just not how I want this to end, is on you guys spectating an ending that I narrate. I mean, if one or two scenes are like that, fine. But, wow, look what Dan's NPCs did, Yay.
Yay.
That's top-notch shit,
Yeah,
Unless the NPC is Billingsley. So if Billingsley walks in and just saves us all, that's fine.
Well, and it's something that I have. It's going to be interesting to see if I can pull this off because I think I figured it out. But it's going to be interesting to see how this goes when everything actually hits ground and goes to play. Is I'm not removing Emma. She really is that powerful. I'm not removing her. She is going to be necessary to certain plot points, but I also don't want her to run the ending. And how do I juggle that? And I think I have it figured out. I can't tell you how I've got it figured out because it'd be huge spoilers. But I think I have figured out where I need to have her step forward versus where I need to have her step back. For example, in tonight's game, that's why when she found the evidence out here, I could have had her come back, with a beheaded helmet or something. But it's like, no, this is your game. This is not her game. Will she help you? Oh, yeah. You're going to need her help. But is she going to do this all by herself? No. You guys have to put some skin in this. You've made enemies and now they're coming home. And this is probably the least bad of the enemies that you're going to have coming back home.
Kick-ass.
So any other comments, questions, whatever?
No.
Nope.
Okay. I really like this game. This was a really good episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you in 2 weeks.